Buffalo Fanatics, what's going on? This is Pierre the Kingpin, and I wanted to talk to you today about Cigars International, which is the ultimate destination for premium homemade cigars. Known as the industry leader, Cigars International offers the largest selection, unbeatable prices, and a customer service experience that's second to none. Whether you're new to cigars or a seasoned vet, Cigars International makes enjoying cigars easy, approachable, and fun. Cigars International is the go-to retailer for all things cigars, with the biggest selection of premium homemade cigars available anywhere. Cigars International offers unbeatable deals and discounts, making it easy to stock up on your favorite or try something new without breaking the bank. With fast free shipping and their 100% satisfaction guarantee, you can shop with confidence knowing that Cigars International stands behind every order. They have good relationship with vendors that helps provide great low prices. Whether you're new to cigars or a seasoned pro, Cigars International makes it easy to find the right cigar with helpful guides, staff reviews, and expert advice. It's not just about cigars. Cigars International also offers a wide range of accessories and more to elevate your smoking experience. Check out the great deals every day at cigarsinternational.com. That's cigars, CIGARS, international.com. Use code FANATICS at checkout for 20% off your order of $50 or more, plus free shipping. Or visit www.cigarsinternational.com/fanatics, and the discount will automatically apply. Again, use code FANATICS at checkout for 20% off your order of $50 or more, plus free shipping. Or visit www.cigarsinternational.com/fanatics, and the discount will automatically apply.
If you're a podcast host, listen up, this one's for you. My name is Allie Jackson. I'm the host of Finding Mr. Height, a dating and relationship podcast that I've been doing for 4 years now, sharing my positive and practical approach to dating that's built on my own life experience. And I wanted to share another experience that I've had, my secret behind monetizing my show. It's called Red Circle, and I was just telling my colleague about how much I love their platform. With Red Circle, not only am I getting a seamless hosting experience, but I also love the support I receive in ad sales. It's not just typical ad sales either. It's targeted opportunities based on my show and my life. And the platform is super simple. You just set your preferences and Red Circle matches you with sponsors that align with your show. You can vet every opportunity and their platform gives you great analytics. More recently too, my Red Circle team has brought me opportunities outside of my podcast on social media to really augment the podcast partnerships, bring them full circle. I just can't recommend them enough. If you want to give it a try, go to redcircle.com to get your free trial. That's redcircle.com for a free trial.
What's up, Buffalo Fanatics? Josh Allen here. Just wanted to say, go Bills.
30 seconds and counting.
There were plenty of years where there were guys who would dread being drafted by the Buffalo Bills. Not anymore.
Astronauts report it feels good. T-minus 25 seconds.
And I fully believe that we have as great of a chance as ever to win it all right now in 2022.
20 seconds and counting.
This is showing you who the new face of the NFL is going to be. Josh Allen, Patrick Mahomes.
T-minus 15 seconds. Guidance is internal.
On my mama, the Buffalo Bills will have a 1,000-yard rusher on this team in 2022.
10, 9.
Oh, baby.
Ignition sequence start. 6, 5.
What's going on, Bills Mafia? This is your favorite Reverend, the Rev Rose.
4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
The greats, and we are going to win that championship. Don't you forget that I said it right here. Watch what's going to happen. The Buffalo Bills are that team to be reckoned with. We're blowing the brakes out of everybody this year. You heard it. Bam. Mic drop. You heard it. Is that enough for you, bot?
Boom!
Hey,
Baby!
what's up, baby?
Bring me in, baby. What is happening? Thursday night, it's the Rev. It's your boy Bot. And just like that, we're doing another duo show. And I'm stoked about it, Rev. I'm freaking stoked. The weekend before 4th of July, and we're getting it off. We're starting it off early with a bang. And I'm stoked to be here with you, brother.
Bruh, I am like ecstatic. But for some reason, though, I'm hearing an echo. Do you hear? Did you guys hear an echo?
I am also hearing an echo as well. Let's take a look. Let's dive into our settings here. Of course, I'm sure if you know by now, it's probably my fault. Let's see. All right. Let's see. Are you hearing it on my end? What's the chat thinking out there? How's the chat think that this is sounding right now? Let's get a. All right, we got Steven coming in. He's saying no echo up in here on his end. Big Baller Bean, no echo on his end. I'm looking at Rev. Rev, can you hear me? Rev doesn't got me. That's all right. We're gonna get him back here in just a minute. You got me now?
Hear you.
You hear
I
me
can
now?
hear you,
Good.
but I hear
Remember those commercials? Remember those Verizon commercials? Can you hear me now? Good. Then the guy went to Sprint. Remember the guy went to Sprint? It was a whole deal. He like left and went to Sprint.
I'm gonna get out.
All right, get out. Get out of here.
I'm gonna get out. I'm gonna come back in.
Come back in. All right. All right, Rev's gonna take a sabbatical. Don't worry, he'll be back. It's your boy Bot here with you Thursday night. Don't even know what to call this one. It's a mix-up of the smoke break. It's a mix-up of the Rated-Rev show. We're gonna have some guests on tonight, and we're gonna have some fun. Like I mentioned, it is the Thursday before the 4th of July. I hope I find everybody in the live chat healthy and well as they head into the Independence Day weekend. I cannot believe for the life of me that we are about to kick off the month of July. I feel like every time you guys tune in, I always am saying, how in the hell is it this date? Is it that date? It's the truth, though. I just don't ever know what the hell is going on. I guess I'm just too busy. I'm not paying attention, whatever. But with that said, we're still on the cusp rather of the 4th of July weekend. We got a month until training camp or so, and then things start to really get busy in regard to the football season. And that, of course, is what we're so stoked about. I mean, for God's sake, I'm getting so damn bored without football. If you go over on my Twitter, I actually took multiple days out of my life, and I drew every single NFL logo in existence. I drew all of them. And I sped it up on Twitter so it would go really fast, obviously, because no one's going to sit and watch all that. That took me hours. And somebody commented earlier, and they're like, get this man to September. And I didn't think you could describe it any better. You could not have described that any better. I mean, it just hit me in that moment where I'm like, yeah, I'm so football deprived right now. I'm hanging around my studio drawing NFL logos on my iPad, and I can't draw worth a shit. I can't draw at all. So for me, it's getting to the point now where I'm losing my mind, right? But like I said, July, this weekend, and that just means we're 1 month closer to football. And of course, that's got me super excited. So tonight we got a jam-packed show for you, and we look forward to bringing it to you. We got a ton of stuff on the docket. I know Rev is very interested in talking tonight about who the most underrated Buffalo Bills player is on this current roster. And this was a tough one for me to kind of sit back and try to decipher, because I think that you can make this argument towards a lot of guys on this team. Obviously, there's some guys that are well-known, right, throughout the entire league, outside of the Bills fan base. But, Rev, like I was just talking about with the folks in here, if you can hear me.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. We got me good now. We good now.
Awesome. Good to hear it. I was just talking to the folks in here about, the main concept of the show tonight, and that, of course, is who is the most underrated player on this team, right?
Yeah, no doubt.
And when the question was posed to me, and it was a great idea that you would come up with, I thought to myself personally, man, I think there's a lot of answers that could fill in that blank. And I think when you think the Bills, you don't think underrated, which is shocking in itself, right?
Right.
But when you really get down to the to the roster in its totality on this team. There are guys that are outside of the, the mainstream know-how or knowledge, if you will, when it comes to football, that definitely have an impact on this team. And I don't think if you're, outside of the Bills fan base, I'm not entirely sure if you are very well aware of these certain guys. So I think it's going to be a great topic we get into tonight. Interested to see what everybody has to say.
Yeah, I'm like beyond excited about this, man. I'm glad that man, you and I, we got the chance to hook up tonight with an epic show. We've got some guests lined up, so you guys stay tuned for that. It's going to be off the chain. Do y'all stay off the chain? I keep on saying stuff that I think is old, like back in the day, but
I don't know what's hip anymore, man. You're asking the wrong guy. It sounds good to me though, but anyway, the show's gonna be lit. And so, we're going to definitely get into the most underrated or underappreciated Bills on the team. We've got a lot to get into today, So you guys stay tuned. The chat, I want you guys to let us know. This is how we do it every Thursday night. I want to know where you guys are watching from. So this is the roll call. Let us know what's happening. I see a whole lot of people up here in the chat. That's good, but let me know where you guys are watching from. But Z-Bot, man, hey, there was something that happened earlier today. I think it was today, or was it yesterday? Oh yeah.
It was man. Hey, I don't know if anybody in the chat caught it, but man, in case you didn't, my man Z-Bot, he is like a man of many talents, right? He is the man of so many.
And when I tell you, Rev is the only person to ever say that, I am sincere. So that alone right now has me just through the moon excited.
Yeah. Oh man. Hey, but I mean it though, man. I mean, he's extremely gifted. You guys know it, right? But I've never seen this type of ability before.
No, wait, hold on, Rev. The better question is: if you've never seen the ability, or have you ever seen somebody have that much free time on their hands? Maybe that's
a little bit of both, man. I've never seen Bot utilize his time in the way in which he did. And the product that he came out with was hilarious. And I'm like, I was talking to him the other day. I was like, man, I was trying to get to him, about the show, and he's like, "Man, Rev, I've been swamped, man. I've been swamped." And then he comes out with this right here. He comes out with this, and I'm like, "Really, Bot? Like this is what you've been working on all day?"
Dude, what's so funny, man, is when you did ask me, because I have been really busy with work. Yeah. Now, I think a lot of people who saw that video, and I'm assuming yourself, because when you reached out to me, because I know that it had barely been like an hour that had gone by before I had said that I would get back to you later because I was swamped. So I figured as soon as you messaged me, I'm like, dude, Rev probably thinks I'm blowing him off so I can draw a bunch of NFL logos. So let me just preface. I started that. I probably started doing those drawings.
Well, hold on. I don't think they know what I'm talking about.
You know what? Good idea. I'm talking about nonsense. Let's play the clip.
Let's go ahead and play the clip in case you guys don't know what I'm talking about. Here, check this out. This is elite level talent right here. Oh, we're not done yet. He's not done. Oh my gosh. All right. Almost.
Did that not feel abnormally longer than it did when I first posted it?
Really
or
did.
what?
It really did. I'm like, wait. These are like 90 seconds are going by really slow.
Yeah. Okay.
Go ahead, talk about it, Z-Bot. Go ahead.
So I started doing those, like I said earlier, it's like, dude, I have just been trying to find extra content to do. And I also like to try things that I haven't really done, like before, I guess. And growing up, I absolutely, like, I was known as the guy in school who every single piece of paper he had a doodle on it. So I can't draw, but I was like a big bubble letter guy, big like little like faces type guy, whatever. So I've always loved doing that stuff, but I'm not good at it. Right. So I'm like, you know what? I'm going to draw the Bills logo because it would be hilarious. And then it hit me. I'm like, you know what? Let's do every single one. So I started this, and I know this is where it got me because I knew the second you messaged me, you must have been like, dude, Bot must be hunkered down in his room for the last 10 hours just drawing. I started that probably the first week of or the last week of April. So I've been doing that for months, and I finally just finished all 32 teams. Now, every single day on TikTok, if you want to go follow me over there, I don't know who uses TikTok. I barely do. This is what I do on TikTok. It's at Z-Bot on air. But every single day for the last 40 days, I've posted a NFL logo. Now, spoiler alert, we're not done. The competition I'm doing with myself, I'm drawing an NFL logo every single day until the season starts. So spoiler alert, I've already completed all of the throwback logos. Oh, man. All of the word marks. And if you thought that wasn't enough, I have moved on to every single Power 5 conference college football logo as well. Oh, so you will Power 5? Oh, yeah. So you will see all of that day by day. I do one college and one NFL every single day over at Z-Bot on air. And then when I'm done with those as well, I'll put it up on Twitter. But Rev, dude, I got to tell you, I got to admit, I have more fun drawing those things. I can't even lie. I can tell. It's like tranquil for me. It just takes me away. And I think it's also hilarious.
On one logo?
Wow. Okay. So here's a spoiler. If you want to go look it up for those who don't know what it looks like, I just recently finished the Steelers throwback logo. And if you don't know what it is offhand, it's literally an animated steel worker on top of a steel beam punting the football. Oh, I think that one took me almost an hour. And that's, of course, not like I'm drawing it like, you know, like Van Gogh. I mean, it's not good, but it still took me a damn hour. Yeah. And back to when I said I kind of like, I find like peace in it. That hour went by in like 30 seconds. I'm just like, I got Dan Patrick or somebody on. I'm listening, just scribbling. But I'm glad you enjoyed it, Rev, because that was days of work. That was days of blood, sweat, and tears.
K-Dub said he loved the artwork, man. Like when I saw that, I was like, yo,
dude, got a lot of man.
He's got a lot of time on his hands, and I can't even lie to you. I thought, I was like, I know for good and well this dude ain't sitting here talking about I've been busy, and he's sitting here drawing these sketches.
Nope.
I was in my feelings a little bit, but I'm not even gonna
I know you were, and that's what made me feel bad. I actually I had posted that because I had just uploaded the 30-second team, and I'm like, all right, you know what? I got to put all these out into one video. Man. Jason N coming in. Jason N, you rule, man. You rule.
Definitely rule, Jason.
You want to know what was the ultimate compliment for me on that, though, Rev? I had a buddy on a follower on Twitter. He made it his Twitter banner, all the logos.
Oh, for real?
And I'm like, I think I've just peaked. I think I'm officially an artist now, Rev. I think I've finally found my true calling in life.
So, what was your favorite logo? I think there was one that kind of hit a little bit out here. But
everybody's been loving the Jaguars logo.
The Jags logo was hilarious.
Did you see what Leston said about it? I couldn't stop laughing because I don't know why, but it made so much sense. He said, my Jaguars logo looks like he could tell a mean knock-knock joke. And then somebody else said he looks like a 90s cartoon villain. And when you do look at it, it kind of looks like he does have like this menacing laugh.
Yeah. Rico said he looks like the old school gargoyles.
I know. I don't know why that one stood out so much to everybody, but the more I looked at it, the funnier it got.
But there was a sneaky one you put in there, man. Like you were slick with it.
I subliminally, and you want to know what? I was stunned how many people caught that.
Yeah.
I must have had 10 people say something to me about it. Because if you're not paying attention, I snuck in Josh Allen's Potato Bills logo. Yeah, it's on there for like quite literally a millisecond.
Yeah, super fast.
Yeah, so I wanted to do it to where like, you know how like there's subliminal stuff and things like you almost just kind of like it just hits you, but you didn't even know you saw it. That's what I was trying to do.
Yeah, I thought don't even know.
really.
It's too fast. I can't.
It's too much. It's too much.
Yeah, but
I'm glad you dug it, Rev. I really am.
Man, I dug it, dude. I was like, yo, Bot is over here with the artistic ability, artistic skills, man. Like,
how'd you like the intro there?
The intro was fire. I want to hear from the chat because I loved it, man. I loved it. I appreciate the little prelude, you know what I'm saying, with the reverend up there preaching, and that was excellent.
And I'm excellent. A RoboCop. I'm a robot.
RoboCop, man. Yo, that was dope.
And I also had to throw in one of my favorite clips of us when my internet cut out and you were just on the rant of a lifetime.
And I was just going off.
And you thought I had just bailed out. And that's one of my all-time faves for sure.
Man, I love that, dude. I'm over here struggling. I'm like, I'm trying to create an intro, and it's looking whack compared to that. And I was like, oh, I'm so glad that you hooked it up, man, because that was dope.
Well, and another reason too is I know that was what we wanted to talk about, and I'm like, I was so busy with work. I'm like, I can't leave my man Rev hanging. I got to get that fire intro. So, So there it was. Jeff King, my brother.
What's up, Jeff?
Shout out Jeff King.
Shout out everybody sitting here in the chat. Yo, what's going on, you guys? Like, I don't know, man, but it's like I'm a fiend, man. I just can't get enough of everybody that's in the chat. Everybody that's supporting BF. Whenever we get a chance to link up and come on and just talk about the Bills, man, I absolutely love it. So kudos to you guys. Shout out to the chat, to the Buffalo Fanatics. You guys are what makes these shows, these episodes go. Without you, there would be no Z-Bot, no Rev, no Rico, none of that. So we salute you guys, definitely. But you know, there's been some news, right, going on in the NFL, and earlier this week, we know we got to touch on it, right? We got to talk about Deshaun Watson. As much as I'm kind of tired of talking about this guy.
Well, it's heating up.
But it definitely is heating up, and so we know what's happened with him, right? I think what are they looking to give him a year, right? Is that what they're looking for?
So that was the late. I mean, so I've been following it, and I this is just a plug, obviously no affiliation, but the best coverage on this particular topic, bar none, is, I know people are always very like either most people can't stand Mike Florio on Pro Football Talk. I'm sorry, but you're missing out. I understand Mike Florio is very opinionated and he's very stern on certain things, but he's one of the most knowledgeable and informative reporters on the planet. This guy no one does the NFL better, in my opinion. And to boot, he was also a lawyer for years. So he has been covering this not only from the football side of things, but as a legal analyst as well. So it has been just incredible following this case through the lens of Mike Florio, because he's been able to give both sides. Yeah. So I've been really tuning into what Mike Florio has had to say on Pro Football Talk as of late. They're actually on hiatus right now, but he's been doing like an afternoon update type thing strictly because, this particular case, the stuff that's also going on with the Washington Commanders and Daniel Snyder, a lot going on. But what Mike Florio had said recently is that it is very lip shut, throw away the key inside of these hearings. Nothing's leaking out. With that said, however, we have just gotten word through a variety of different sources, nothing actually confirmed yet, but the year is looking like that is what is on the table right now. Yeah. And then from there, whatever winds up getting decided will be based on negotiations from both sides, I'm sure. But like you had mentioned, Rev, and like I had, alluded to a long time ago, as many others have as well, a year to me just seems like the absolute play here. Like, I just don't see how you could do less. To me, it's inevitable. Right. So that's where I'm at on it.
It has to be at least a year.
Agreed. And people come back. Yeah. And people come back and say, well, he was out last year. Yeah, but he wasn't based on these current circumstances. He essentially sat out because he didn't want to be in Houston. People forget that. I mean, the reason he didn't play last year is because he didn't want to be in Houston. And then all this stuff kind of unfolded. So you look at around the league, you look at what people get suspended for. I mean, for God's sakes, we've seen a suspension this year for a full season for Calvin Ridley, who was betting on games that weren't even affiliated to his team.
Exactly.
DeAndre Hopkins, 6 games for PEDs. I mean, that's the standard, of course. But if I'm getting 24 sexual assault allegations lined up against the potential for somebody like DeAndre Hopkins to perhaps mistakenly take a substance that was on the banned list,
Yeah.
I think that there's a massive discrepancy there. And of course, with that said, a year seems fair, Rev.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to compare. You know, when you think about it, it's almost like a year suspension doesn't even. It seems like that's the baseline. Like it has to be at least a year. I mean, because our very own with Andre Smith. What is he? 4 games or 6 games because of the same PED?
That's right. Yeah. Well, so 6 games. The PED is set in stone. So the reason, because granted, there could be players who have failed these PED drug tests who did not actually intend to take PEDs, but the rule is set in place at a 6 games, like set in stone standard, no matter what, because you can never prove one way or the other whether it was intentional or not. So that's because, so for that reason, hey, sorry. I mean, in reality, you know, I could have been making pancakes and I could have put in some substance in the batter that was banned on the NFL list. And if I had Josh Allen over for breakfast and I gave him to him and he tested the next week, listen, that's 6 games. It doesn't matter. You could have been juicing or you could have been eating my pancakes. You're screwed either way. So that's set in stone. This particular case, Rev, right, with Deshaun Watson, it's completely different than that. There's no set in stone timeline for how long you are suspended for. It's all based on a variety of factors, one in which I think is the biggest is the public perception and how the NFL looks. And they will look better here if they really lay down the hammer, which is what we all anticipate. Yeah,
and they absolutely have to lay down the hammer. I mean, just for a myriad of reasons, right? We don't even really need to get into it, but yeah, a year suspension absolutely has to happen. And that kind of leads me into my next question, though, because since we see or we think that the league is going to go ahead and impose a year suspension, maybe not, but that's kind of where it's leaning. My question, though, to you and to everybody in the chat also is, does Baker play for the Browns? Does he play for the Browns in 2022 with this new information, this new intel coming up? And you know, he said some things earlier about that specific topic as well.
How can I put this? I think that we have a better chance of Baker joining the weekly Buffalo Fanatics lineup on YouTube Live than I think there's a better chance of that happening than him donning a Browns jersey again and playing in Cleveland. That ship is sailed. That bridge is burnt. Yeah. And you know how I felt early on. I felt right when this was undergoing, I really felt that Baker, and I still do feel this way about Baker and his character and his personality. I don't think he does himself any favors at all. The way he acts, the way he's perceived, just his overall mentality would not be the type that I would want in my quarterback room, right? What I have currently in Josh Allen is the exact example of what I would want. Another example would be, Russell Wilson, perfect example. Guys that are trendsetters, they are ultimate role models, right? Baker Mayfield is not necessarily a bad guy. He's just not a really good representation of an organization, in my opinion. Right. With that said, however, that does not mean that he is deserving of what they have put him through up until the draft and after that. Because you know how I felt. I don't think the Browns owe Baker much of anything. Truthfully, I just thought the bridge was burned and they wanted to go on and get a better quarterback. And ultimately in this league, that is the name of the game. If you don't go out and get a guy who's top 5, especially in the AFC, good luck even making the playoffs, right? So I understood it. And I think that that's the new mentality now. I mean, we saw it with Arizona. They really set the trend when they just moved off of Rosen and immediately drafted Kyler Murray. The time span on these guys now, no matter when you're drafted, it's about this big, right? It's really quick. So for Baker in the Browns situation, I understood it from the Browns angle. Ever since then, when it initially happened and a few weeks after, ever since then, the way that this is unfolded, the Browns just look so bad in so many different areas. The way this whole Deshaun Watson thing has been unfolding, it makes the Browns look ridiculous. Guaranteeing him all that money with all these lawsuits still in play. The fact that they did that against the will essentially of all other 31 NFL owners who would never have signed off on that because it completely wrecked the quarterback market, right? It completely ruined the perception of how you go about doing business when acquiring a player, especially when you have these lawsuits on your hand, right? And then on top of that, Rev, to keep Baker Mayfield in the crossfire here.
Issue.
is insane to me. So
Yeah,
I truly hope he gets another team coming up soon here, which we have heard is a possibility.
Yeah.
He deserves it after this.
I agree, man. I agree 100%. Like, now, what really gets me though is, and so, you know, you talked about, you know, Baker and maybe his character or whatever, you know, if the Browns were out on that, how can you go from Baker to Deshaun Watson? You know, I mean, that's
why they
worse.
look so stupid. It just makes no sense.
They look absolutely ridiculous, and that was an arrogant move by them, because it's almost as if they felt like, well, the NFL is not going to do anything, you know, or you know what I'm saying, like we can go ahead and make this move and just throw crap to the face of the NFL and every woman that's ever watching and the National Football League, into our fan base with the thought, I guess, the thought process that this is going to pan out for us because he's a quote unquote good player. I mean, it makes zero sense. Whether you like Baker or not, you cannot justify this. It doesn't make it makes absolutely no sense. And then on top of that, though, for like you had mentioned, for them to hold on to Baker, they went ahead and got Jacoby Brissett, and then they're holding on to Baker by the bootstraps and just holding him hostage. He can't go anywhere. That's what makes this whole thing look even worse than what it already is. Let Baker go, right? Free Baker. Free Baker Mayfield. You know, let the man go.
Absurd. It's just absurd.
Yeah, it's absurd.
You know, go ahead, Rev. I just, my mind's blown on the whole situation. Truly.
Well, then didn't he? It seems like Baker's kind of changing his tune a little bit now. Maybe you know, after this news is coming out about Deshaun Watson.
I got to give him credit, man. Baker's no dummy. I'll tell you that. I mean, he really isn't. I don't think he handles himself very well in the public eye, but I'll give him this. He's authentic. He doesn't fake it for anybody, right?
You're right.
And I think he's realizing that in order to move on from this Browns situation, in order to be more desirable to other organizations, you're going to have to kind of put behind the overall persona that you kind of carried in Cleveland. I think recently, he's been awfully quiet about it compared to what I thought he might be doing, right? He really hasn't been running off about it, especially as the Deshaun Watson stuff has been heating up. Mm-hmm. 2, what I thought was an amazing look for him, last week, Deshaun Watson's in court handling these hearings. Yeah. Baker Mayfield's running a camp for kids to do football-oriented activities and whatnot. Mm-hmm. He was hosting a camp. And you take a look at that, and what does that tell me? 1, Baker is no idiot. That's a PR play, 100%.
Absolutely.
2, I give him all the credit in the world for it, because out of all the things that he could have done, especially recently here, to really stir the pot, if you will, especially after getting that screwed over, I think.
Right.
From Baker Mayfield's perspective, looking at how he typically reacts to basically any situation, I tip my cap to how he's handled himself over the last month or so.
Yeah, he's being extremely professional, and what he's doing is he's making the Browns look even worse. He's making them look worse. Which is
why he's no dummy, right? Because he knows
exactly. Yeah, he's like, well, this is the decision that you guys made. You know what I'm saying? Look at him and look at me. So yeah, it makes no sense, man. It makes absolutely no sense. And Jeff King, man, my God, Jeff,
the Kinger,
the King
legend,
is in the building. Jeff King coming in with a super chat. If I'm Baker, I am saying F you, baby. Not saying he's a great quarterback, but that disrespect can't be pushed aside. Say what you want about Watson, great quarterback, but a straight freak with the PP touches. Man, look. Yo, Jeff King coming in, man, with some fire, man. Jeff, we appreciate you, brother. No doubt, man. I mean, say what you want, right? Say what you want about Baker. Say what you will about him, but it's been completely disrespectful. The Browns have just disrespected Baker to no end. And I applaud him, like you had mentioned. I applaud him for how he's handling the situation right now. He's not saying, like, I would be so petty. I'd be tempted to be super petty. Like the pettiest of all petties, right? You know what I'm saying? But he's being a professional, and he's playing it cool. Whether or not it's legit or not, he's still doing it. He's playing the game because he's making himself look more desirable, not just for the Browns, but for other NFL teams out there who may be looking to poach him off of the Browns, which is a good ploy by Baker Mayfield and his representation. And to your point, and Rev, I'm looking at the article that you pulled up, or that you sent me along earlier. And another mastermind move, I think, on Baker's end here that stood out to me. Yes.
Was the fact that he essentially said, look, I'm here ready to move on. It's up to the Browns, right? He goes,
right.
I think in order to move on, there would have to be some reaching out. So he's telling reporters the Browns haven't even bothered to be in contact with him, really.
Yeah.
He's saying that he's ready to move on. He's saying both sides are obviously going two different directions.
Mm-hmm.
But the way he worded it, right, is saying, yeah, I mean, I'm ready to get out of here, waiting for the Browns to move on.
Right.
And with that being said, right, what is he really saying? And he's saying, well, look, I'm being the adult here. The guys over in Cleveland are the ones holding everything up.
Mm-hmm. And that's exactly what they're doing. That's exactly what they're doing. And he's being smart. He's being as smart as you can be in playing the cards the right way. Everything is going to be in the Browns' court, right? And what they're going to do. I mean, back to the question. I just don't know if Baker's going to play. I can't see him playing for the Browns. I think that Cleveland is going to try everything they can to hold him hostage and either force him to play or force him to sit out. I just feel like they're going to be that petty. I think they're going to be that petty now. Now, Baker doesn't have to play, obviously, right? I mean, they can go with Jacoby Brissett. He can sit out for the whole year. I don't know what kind of fines we would be looking at for Baker if he just decided to go ahead and sit out the entire year and not play at all. But I'm willing to bet that he's willing to do that to get out of Cleveland.
I'm very interested. I just don't see, like I said, man, there's a million other outcomes that I see happening before I see Baker going back out there and playing for Cleveland again. Then again, however, if it is his only option, what is he to do, right? Because he's still very young in his career and he's still looking to get another starting chance in this league. He's still looking to move on and have a career for himself.
Right.
If he doesn't play this year, which I don't see happening, but let's just say hypothetically it winds up coming down to that, right? He's really, really shooting himself in the foot for his long-term success here.
Yeah.
If he doesn't play all year, he's already not demanding, he's not demanding anything from any other teams, or else he would have gone somewhere by now. Somebody would have been willing to pick up the money that Cleveland would have to shell out. Yeah. So what we've learned, of course, over the offseason here is the market for Baker Mayfield is almost non-existent, and it's only going to get lesser and lesser if he doesn't play. So it's going to be very intriguing, Rev, if it comes down to him not going to another team, Deshaun Watson being out for the full year, and how it winds up playing out for both Cleveland and Baker Mayfield. It's going to be incredibly awkward either way.
And he's going to have to make a difficult decision. But then on top of that, you have to figure, like, okay, he's like, well, if I'm playing with no long-term security from the Browns. We already know that. And so
what if he gets injured again? Exactly. Like he did last year. Exactly.
If he gets injured, then that's going to hurt his. I mean, you know what I'm saying? That's going to affect his pocket because we know he's not going to be with Cleveland next year. But man, I mean, come on now, that's a tough decision. I don't know what Baker's going to do. I really don't know. I don't see him playing for the Browns. But man, if push comes to shove, and there's no market, I mean, there's absolutely no teams biting, no teams willing to take him on before the season starts. I think he's going to be hard pressed not to. Because he has to, even at that point, he has to put his best foot forward. He can't come before the public right now and make all of these these appearances, and then when it comes down to it in the regular season, if when Deshaun Watson, if he gets suspended for a whole year, he's like, I'm not going to play. You know what I'm saying? I think he would be putting himself even further behind the eight ball. So I think he may have to, not by choice, but just by circumstance alone.
An interesting thing that came out the other day. Baker Mayfield's Seahawks jersey leaked on NFL Shop the other day. Obviously, that hasn't happened yet, but that was very interesting. I think it makes so much sense for him to go to Seattle. That
makes a ton of sense.
Talk has been heating up. I don't know why Seattle doesn't just wind up pulling the trigger here.
Just do it.
Your other options are what? Geno Smith and Drew Lock. I mean,
come on.
There's
no way the Seahawks. There's no way the Seahawks can go into the season right now and try to even act as if they're going to be competitive with Drew Lock and Geno Smith at the helm. They cannot do that. There's zero chance. They're going to fall in their places and look ridiculous. Get Baker Mayfield, bite the bullet. Pay whatever you have to pay. Get him in that, on the team, and so that way they can at least be competitive. Because the NFC West though is a tough division right now. When you look at the defending Super Bowl champions and the Rams, and then you've got, the 49ers of course, and the Cardinals. So if they want to be competitive and not have to start all over again, Baker Mayfield makes a ton of sense. But moving on from Baker, I just thought that was interesting. When you think about what's going on and whether or not he's going to play for them, and in light of all of this new information, as we move on in the show, I want to talk about an article that was written by one of our very own at BF, our BF contributor, Pete Rubinstein, and he wrote an article. When was it? I think it was a couple of days ago. And he wrote an article assessing the Bills' offensive line. And that's something I want to get into as we move on into the show, because I think that's very interesting. He made some key points within the article that I think is worth touching on when you look at the offensive line, because, last year the O-line had some issues, right? I mean, it was very inconsistent. We were unable to do anything in the run game. We had injuries and guys getting caught with getting COVID, from Deion Dawkins to Spencer Brown. And then the O-line just was unstable all year long until about towards the tail end of the season, when Ryan Bates got inserted into the lineup by the injury due to Ike Boettger. And then we started to see the O-line start to gel a little bit, and it paved way for the running game. Well, then in the offseason, we saw what happened. OG Bobby Johnson, he left to New York following Brian Dable. We inserted Aaron Kromer, and then we added Roger Saffold into the fold. And so now we've got an O-line that looks pretty good. But beyond just the starting five, I mean, we have to look at our depth. And this is what I really love about this article that Pete wrote about. But before we get into that, I've got another guest that I want to bring on. I told you guys, Fanatics, that today was going to be off the chain. Tonight is going to be dope. We've got guest upon guest upon guest appearing. And this gentleman right here, this young man, you guys know him. You guys have seen him plenty of times. You've seen him on the Rico Report. You've seen him in and out of Buffalo Fanatics. It is none other than my man, Evan Harrington.
There he is, baby.
What is going on? How you doing, man? How you feeling, baby?
I'm doing awesome. Thanks for having me on once again.
Brother, man. Hey, it is a pleasure, man. It is our pleasure, man, that you were able to join the show, man. How's everything been, man? How's everything going up there in what part of the New York are you in, man? Are you in Rochester? Are you in Buffalo?
I'm in Buffalo.
You in Buffalo?
I'm in Buffalo.
Okay.
I'm about 10 minutes from the Ralph.
Oh, nice. And I like the fact that you call it the Ralph. As young as you are, you still call it the Ralph, man. That's much respect, man. Much respect. So, man, Evan, I want to ask you, man, because what do you think, man, about the O-line? First of all, tell me your thoughts about the offensive line going into the season, just right now, when you just look at the additions that were made to the O-line right now. What are your thoughts about the O-line, and maybe even your expectations going forward?
Well, you're going to start from the coaching. Aaron Kromer bringing him in. Great addition, right? You lose Bobby Johnson, you bring in Kromer. This is a great addition to the coaching staff. Obviously, Sean McDermott and Ken Dorsey has great respect for Kromer in the offensive line room. But then you bring in some key additions on the line itself. You bring in Roger Saffold. You got Ryan Bates taking another step forward. You got Spencer Brown in year 2. You got Deion Dawkins really finding himself as one of the top tier elite left tackles in football. Mm-hmm. Mitch Morse has another season under his belt as a Buffalo Bills center, and he's been probably one of the best acquisitions that Brandon Beane has ever made for the Buffalo Bills, and he's an underappreciated player. I remember that's one of the topics we're going to be talking about later. That's not my pick, but that is a player that we have to talk about is Mitch Morse. How good he is at commanding the offensive line, pointing out the weak spots that, maybe Dawson Knox doesn't see when he's on a blocking assignment, or, when the running back has to block. Mitch Morse is always pointing them out, helping Josh Allen. Mitch Morse is a great player. The depth is there as well, like Boettger, Tommy Doyle. I mean, Cody Ford's coming back is probably depth. We don't know. You got Bobby Hart coming back, Questenberry, Greg Mance. You got a ton of players on the depth side of the offensive line that could be really big contributors as well. But I like our flat five there in the trenches, because if you're winning in the trenches, you're going to be winning the football game. And I think this could be great for our offensive line going forward and really improving the run game, the passing game in general.
No doubt. Bob, what do you think, man? What are your initial thoughts about the O-line coming into the season?
I mean, I don't think I could have been put more perfectly than what Evan just kind of said.
Yeah.
I think the depth was definitely a big key, right? And there's definitely more this year, it feels like, going into the season than last. I also feel way more confident about the starting five, like Evan had just said. I mean, last year, as we know, it was just very rotational. Oftentimes you had no clue who was going to be in, and you had no idea what the status quo was going to be on that line. And I think that wound up showing at times, especially in the run game. I think Saffold was one of the more underrated acquisitions this entire offseason. I think there was so much that happened, not only within the Buffalo organization, but just outside of it as well. One of the biggest off seasons maybe ever. I think it was the biggest off season ever. And Saffold, to me, is one of those acquisitions for Buffalo that I think went more under the radar than it should have. I think because based on what we look at on the offensive line, what we look at in bringing in James Cook, protecting Josh Allen, and hoping to eliminate a damn near 1,000-yard rushing season again, which is not necessary as he continues to progress into his career. And on top of that, you look at the window they're in this year and you look at the opportunity facing them. It's not going to get much better than this. The roster is not going to get much better, and this is the time to capitalize. Luckily for us, when I do look at the offensive line right now, the current situation, it's one of those where I don't think anybody looks at the line and says, oh, good luck getting past the Bills today. But I also don't think you look at it and you circle it saying, man, this is a major problem. I think right now it's probably, middle of the pack, more so than last year, towards the top of the pack. But when you look at what else this Bills team brings to the field, to me, it's not overly concerning. And like I said, they got by just fine last year. At times it wasn't pretty, but when they were cruising, they were cruising. And if you add what they have added to this roster already, including the offensive line and the depth, and then additional weapons as well to capitalize on that, there's just so much to be excited about. And I think right now the offensive line is the one thing that I go into the season not worried about. Whereas I think last year it was more of a worry than I wanted it to be, especially as the season continued to progress.
And where I think the offensive line is really strengthened is in the trenches, right? We're right there in the guards. Much love to Darrell Williams and what he was able to do for us. But man, when you look at now, when we have Ryan Bates, we got him back. But then when you added Roger Saffold, I think the interior of the O-line is going to be, at least it is on paper, should be a whole lot better than it was last year. I have no qualms with center. I think we still have one of the best centers in the National Football League in Mitch Morse. We've got a very good, very, very good Pro Bowl caliber left tackle in Deion Dawkins. And then we have an up and coming right tackle in Spencer Brown. I think our starting offensive line so far right now is looking pretty good. But what I'm most interested in is the depth, because I think that our depth has even improved as well. And so when I look at it and I look at the article that Pete wrote, he asked a question and it really talks about how many offensive linemen are the Bills going to carry now with into this season with Aaron Kromer out the helm. I mean, because they can't carry everybody, right? We know that. And under Brian Daboll, they carried I think 9 offensive linemen on the active roster. And so with Aaron Kromer inserted now, where do you think that number lies? Do you think we stay at 9 all linemen, or do you think they increased it to 10 maybe, considering some of the depth options? Evan, I'm gonna start with you.
Man, this is a tricky question because you really want to break down the entire, depth chart before you just want to throw numbers around like we're going to do right now. But when you're looking at it, obviously you got your 5, your starting 5. Those are your guys. And then you would like to keep a guy like Ike Butker. You'd like to keep maybe a Greg Mance who's played multiple positions on the offensive line. That's a nice player that can back up Mitch Morse, but can also back up Saffold and Bates. Greg Van Rotten, who has played starting caliber football in the NFL, has been around the league as well. Tommy Doyle, who was a draft pick just a couple years ago. He's a player that you would like to keep around and develop. People are going to hate it, but Bobby Hart's going to compete for a roster spot. Brandon Beane and Sean McDermott always talk highly of this guy. I know. I don't like talking about
that guy back.
I don't like talking about him, but he's a player that's going to be competing for a roster spot. So keep your eye on him. And Luke Tanetta, who is a recent draft pick this past year as well. They don't always like to keep their late round draft picks, obviously with Rashad Wildgoose and Jack Anderson last year, but Luke Tanetta could be a sneaky pick to play the tackle position right behind Dawkins and Brown.
And when we look at it, let's just take a look at it right here. And I'm going to go off of what Pete had written in his article. So he starts off with the locks. Okay, so let's talk about the locks. You had mentioned it at the tackle position. Let's go at the tackle position. We've got he has Deion Dawkins, right, and Spencer Brown. Okay, and then you have center Mitch Morse as 3 locks. Okay. And then he goes on. I mean, does anybody disagree with that? I mean, Deion Dawkins, Mitch Morse, Spencer Brown, pretty much locks right on the line. Okay,
I agree. Yeah.
And then he said almost definitely locks. He has Roger Saffold and Ryan Bates. Now I don't know how he says almost definitely. I'm not sure if he means that they're not locks to make the roster or just locks to start. I'm assuming he's talking about
start, right?
I'm assuming he's talking about starting.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. So okay, he says highly favored candidates to start at guard. Okay, so yeah, he's talking about starting. Roger Saffold, Ryan Bates. I don't know anybody else who would start over them, unless some guys lower in the depth chart actually push in camp, which I don't see it happening. But Roger Saffold, Ryan Bates, I would consider them locks to start when you look at the rest of the guys. Okay. What I also found interesting was that PFF talked about our very own Ryan Bates and how good he has been. And they said that he had the lowest allowed pressure rates among guards last season with a minimum of 400 snaps, and Ryan Bates was number one. And on that list behind him was Joe Tooney, and then followed by Kevin Zeitler. So our very own Ryan Bates, man, has been playing very well last year. And I think, I don't know if many people are kind of overlooking that. I mean, they look at him as a kind of a guy who's been here for so long, but man, he played very well when he came in last offseason. And so I'm definitely interested in Ryan Bates moving forward. And then, of course, we got Roger Saffold. And now I love Saffold. And, I don't know if anybody caught last week on the show, I put a clip that Eric Wood was on the Bussin' with the Boys podcast. What's my guy's name, man, from the Titans, man? The Taylor Lewan. Taylor Lewan was on there. And Eric Wood was talking about Roger Saffold. And Taylor Lewan said, he is the best run blocking guard that he has seen in the National Football League. And it makes a whole lot of sense, right? When you look at Roger Saffold plus Aaron Kromer and what he was able to do over the course of his tenure with the Bills, and even when he was with the Rams, and even I think he was also with the Titans. Did Kromer have a stint with the Titans, or was it just the Rams? I can't remember. But I definitely know he had a stint with the Rams, and we know what he does, right? He's an O-line guru when it comes to running the rock. And so you add in a guy like that, and you look at the weakness of the O-line last year was in the run game. So I'm very interested as we move forward in Roger Saffold and Ryan Bates and seeing what they're going to be able to do, especially in the run game. Now, Pete goes on, he talks about some of the favorable outlooks. And you had mentioned, Evan, guys like Greg Mantz, David Kessenberry, and Greg Van Rotten. I like Kessenberry. I like what he brings to the table. I think he can probably compete with that swing tackle spot, maybe with Doyle. I'm interested in knowing you guys' thoughts about what you think David Kessenberry can do for the Bills coming next season.
Well, yeah, it's definitely an interesting spot because when you go back a few years ago, you had, Ty Nsekhe playing that swing tackle position for the Bills, being that third option. Mm-hmm. But now you got Quessenberry, Doyle, you got Luke Tanetta, you got a few guys, Bobby Hart. I'm throwing his name in there. People don't like it, but I'm throwing his name in there. You got a few guys that can really, compete for that third spot. And if Quessenberry in training camp and in preseason is showing the capability of not only being able to play left tackle and right tackle at both, high level, but being able to commit to being a swing tackle and not just one tackle and primarily, that's huge. And Sean McDermott and, Aaron Kromer and, everyone up in that coaching staff in the front office and the management, they all love that. They love their versatility, especially on the offensive line. There's only, really like 3 or 4 positions to go around, the guards, tackle, and the center. And if you can play 2 of those, your odds of making this roster go up a lot.
Right.
If Quessenberry can show that, that's good for him.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it's going to be a battle between him and Tommy Doyle. But the thing that kind of, I guess gives him the edge. It gives Quessenberry the edge is that he's position flex, right? He can play tackle and he can play guard. Whereas Tommy Doyle, I mean, he's just a tackle only guy, and we really need that that swing tackle, and it's looking like it could go Questenberry's way if he holds out in camp and and really makes a push. Do you think Tommy Doyle could find himself not making the 53-man roster, even though he was a draft pick by the guys? What do you think, Bot? What do you guys think, Evan? Z-Bot, what do you guys think?
Yeah. I'll step on this right here while Z-Bot's figuring out his technical issues. But yeah, the thing with Tommy Doyle, obviously, he was about a 5th round draft pick just a couple of years ago in 2020. Yeah. So obviously, that 5th round pick isn't too high of a pick, but it isn't, a late round pick. This isn't his first year on the team anymore. He's going into year 3. So that 5th round pick, might not be as valuable to them a couple of years ago as it is now. So they don't really just have that grasp on Doyle where they're gonna be like, hey man, you're a draft pick of us. No, you were a 5th round pick a few years ago. It's your time to show out or, get out. And if Questenberry outperforms Doyle, it's really easily that, Doyle can find his way on the practice squad or find his way, looking to play and suit up for another team. I would love Tommy Doyle to make the roster, but like you mentioned, Questenberry can play guard and both tackle positions. Yeah. So that's very key to what he can do.
Exactly. And then we keep on going along and we talk about Pete Rubinstein, I'm sorry, assessing the 2022 Bills offensive line. And then he talks about the guys who probably won't make the roster. And he lists Cody Ford, tackle Tanner Owen, and then Derek Kerstetter. Now, I'm interested in Cody Ford right there. I think this is a make or break year for Cody Ford, seeing as how this is the final year of his contract, his rookie deal. But my thing, though, with Cody Ford is that as much as I would like to believe that he could be like a project guy from that Aaron Kromer kind of gravitates to and tries to get the best out of him, I don't know where he's going to find an opportunity to actually even, make it on the roster, let alone even compete for a backup job or even, looking in the future. I just don't know, because when you look at Ryan Bates and Roger Saffold, to me, those guys are locks. Behind them at guard, you've got Questenberry who can play. We still have Ike Bacher, granted, he just got injured, right? He got injured last year, Achilles. We don't know whether or not he's going to come back with the Bills see it in him going forward. But man, Cody Ford, this has put up a shut up time for Cody Ford. But what are your impressions about Cody Ford, and what do you think that that the Bills are going to do with him moving forward? You still having some issues?
All right, I'll stop in on this one.
Go ahead.
My thoughts with Cody Ford is pretty simple. I mean, when you're looking at the depth in the guard position, like you mentioned, Questenberry can play tackle and guard. You got Mance who can play center and guard. You got Van Rotten, who's played guard in this league as a starter. Yeah. Even though it was for the Jets as a starter. This is a guy who's in your depth spot. You got like Butker, who's going to come back off injury. I just listed 4 guys who are all, who all have, years under their belt in this league.
Right.
That are going to be over Cody Ford, in my opinion. And Cody Ford would literally have to have the greatest training camp / preseason in NFL history to even make a depth spot on this roster. Right. I mean, maybe we can talk about potentially training camp or a practice squad roster out of training camp, but I don't even see that. I just think that. Yeah. I just don't see Cody Ford accepting that. Remember, this guy was a former 2nd round pick. We had all the highest hopes for this guy. He just hasn't been able to live up to those hopes. So the thing with Cody Ford, it's kind of just, play up to your highest potential, and we'll see what we can do with you at the end of training camp, where you might just have to, pack your bags. And it was a nice, 3 years and a quarter here.
Yeah, exactly. And maybe, hopefully, Brandon Beane can get something out of him. I don't know what type of value he has. But maybe if they market him well in training camp and they kind of pub him up a little bit and show that he's doing well in camp, maybe he can get a late round draft pick for him. I mean, you hate to just to cut bait with him and let him go, but I tend to believe that Brandon Beane, as talented of a GM as he is, can try to find something out of Cody Ford. I don't see him, and I agree with you, Evan. I don't see Cody Ford making his roster. I just don't. And I'm an OU fan, but when Cody Ford came out, I thought this guy is no starting caliber NFL right tackle. I mean, he has very little. What am I trying to say? Very little lateral mobility, right? He's kind of heavy-footed, flat-footed guy, going left and right. He just didn't look right. And then when you play in Oklahoma, I mean, outside of Creed Humphrey, and a couple of other guys. I mean, when you play in Oklahoma, you're playing in the Big 12 for one, and then there's no defense, right? And this is all passing. So these guys have, I mean, they really have no development. And I just wasn't a fan of the pick, let alone them trading up for him in the second round. And then on top of that, you couple it with what happened with Sean McDermott and Bobby Johnson, moving him around from right tackle, then moving him to guard, and then back to right tackle. And then the following year he gets injured. I don't think any of that kind of helped him out. And then last year he just had a bad year. So I think he's on his way out, to be honest, unless he puts up a good camp. And then, like you mentioned, even if I just don't see them even offering him a contract, even if it's like, oh, we'll give you a year contract, make it a prove it deal. I don't think he's going to be willing to even take that.
I mean, the thing is, there's really nothing to prove. Like, how can you really prove yourself when you're behind, 3 or 4 guys that are already slated behind the 2 starters? Like, there's really nothing for him to prove. So it's really just kind of I hate to say it, like, you're just kind of throwing them on the streets. Like, that's really all it is. You really have to at this point. And then that's kind of what I'm thinking moving forward. But hey, man, did you get your stuff together yet, buddy? Or are you still struggling?
Yeah, no, I finally figured it out.
There we go.
Yeah, I don't know. I was just letting you guys roll on there. My fault. The headphones kept I was trying to fix this. I don't even know. I'm not going to bore you with it, but it was
Jeff says you're lazy, man. He says, man, you're just lazy, bro.
Is Jeff talking about me? God damn it, Jeff. I thought we were friends, man. What the hell? But I don't know what you want to listen, not to get off the topic or anything, but I was actually looking up how to fix the connection on here. And I got a bit of some breaking news here. And yeah, this is pretty wild, actually.
Go ahead.
I don't even know if the Fanatics are going to be able to handle this.
No, hold on a second, man. Hold on. Is it? I'm gonna solo you, buddy.
All right, you ready?
Breaking news.
Taco Bell has just announced a giant Cheez-It Crunch Wrap Supreme and a giant Cheez-It Tostada, and the Cheez-Its are 16 times the size of a regular Cheez-It. That's just in. This just in across the news desk. Breaking news. Taco Bell is launching a Cheez-It that's 16 times the size of a normal Cheez-It, and they're stuffing it inside of a Crunch Wrap Supreme. And folks, I know, this country, recently, just everything with the game. You name it, right? But there has never been a time where we needed a Cheez-It the size of my head, and you can see my head right now. There has never been a better time to launch this. So I apologize, but as I was just kind of surfing the web here, you know how you get that clickbait? There was no way I wasn't going to address that breaking news, so I apologize, boys. But my good God,
Z-Bot coming in, man, with the breaking news. Taco Bell with the Cheez-It the size of the boss. That's a big Cheez-It, man.
I got a Taco Bell like 10 minutes up the road. After this show, I might just have to, hop in the Jeep Compass and just, go up.
Well, Ev, hold on.
Grab me one of those.
You know how expensive gas is, especially in the Jeep. Yeah. I do not want to have you running out there for no reason. I want to see when this baby comes out.
Oh, man.
Oh, my God. There's a video. Should I pull it up?
Okay, hold on.
Why not?
Let's hold that for the second half. Okay.
All right, hold it for the second half.
Yeah. Let's hold that for the second half because we've got a whole lot more to talk about, guys. So hang in there. I've also got another guest that's going to join us right after the break. So you guys take this time right now. Go get another refreshment, refresh your drink, take a potty break, do whatever you got to do. And Bot and Rev and my man Evan. I said Evington. Ev.
I like Evington. I'm good with that. Evan, is that all right?
That's my first and last name combined. So no, fun fact. Right, it is. It's your fun fact. My old neighbor used to call me Reverend Evan because it was an old thing.
I like that.
From JJ the Jet Plane. It was like some character from the show.
JJ the Jet Plane. Nice. The terrifying cartoon show for kids where they were animated planes with actual human faces. You remember that?
Nice.
My sister loved it. I can see it in my head. I know what I'm binge watching tonight, boys.
That's your new nickname, baby. That's your new nickname.
JJ the Jet Plane.
All right, guys.
Cheez-It Crunch Wrap and JJ the Jet Plane.
Yeah, stay tuned to the second half. We got Z-Bot coming back. We got your man Rev coming back. Rev and Evington coming back, and a special guest coming as well. In addition to the big monster Cheez-It from Taco Bell. Stay tuned, baby. We'll be right back in 60 seconds. Let's do it.
There he is. There he is. Big K.
We are back.
Special
we are back,
K.
And we have an amazing guest. He is no stranger to the Fanatics. You know him well. This handsome gentleman over here, right underneath the Z-Bot, my man, Kevin Guerard, the resident Dolphins fan, a.k.a. Mr. Pettyville, Mayor of Pettyville. He is joining the Rated-Rev and Z-Bot show. Kev, what's going on, man? How you been?
I'm tired, man. I've been helping those Bills players get extensions and more money all off season.
You have been working hard, man, but it's not working.
You know, I don't stop. You know, and right now we're working on Jordan Poyer. We need him to make a lot more money. Hopefully pushing into the future, you know?
Hey, man, I'm with you, though. I mean, Jordan Poyer needs to make a whole lot more money, but it's not going to happen with the Dolphins. That's not happening.
Oh, no, he's talking about having the Bills blow their cap money on Poyer as he ages out. I mean, let's just let Kevin take over the sticks. We'll be back to the drought days in no time. It'll be great.
Yeah.
I can't wait.
Oh, man.
I campaigned for Diggs, and we got him.
Yeah.
You know, who else got extended this year? I was on fire. It was pretty good. I got.
Who else did you get?
I got Jordan Poyer's lady.
You did
there, yeah. And she telling me she loves my tweets. You know,
she loves.
Are you not blocked yet? Are you not blocked yet?
Blocked? No.
She loves it.
Jordan Poyer messaged me personally to tell me he appreciates me.
Man, let's get him on here then. Call up your boy. I didn't know you guys were that close. Let's start talking contracts.
Hey, I got my tickets, lads, to Bills Packers.
Oh, I can't wait, man.
Yeah. So
that's literally if I had to pick one game, if I could only go to one game all year, that would be it. Like, I just cannot wait for that one.
Sunday night. That's why I'm going, because a bunch of my buddies are going. And that's Sunday night, nationally televised, you know. So, yeah, we got those tickets. Hopefully I got to find a sports bar that'll show the Dolphins game at 1:00. And then, you know, because you guys will.
Maybe Arby's will have it on.
We're playing, boneless wings, man.
I'm telling you, Kev, you could have yourself an afternoon over there. I'll tell you what. They'll set you up good.
I don't know. Now I got to worry about giant Cheez-Its. You know what I mean? So,
well let me tell you what.
Talk about it, Bot, because I'm interested, man. You got my palate kind of wet a little bit. You know, I'm trying to picture these
Rev, I mean,
giant Cheez-Its.
I'm trying to keep you ahead of the curve here too, because I don't want you getting priced out of the market because you're not offering the giant Cheez-Its over at the Rev Roads food truck.
Yeah, no doubt.
All right, so let's check it out. I mean, listen,
I want to see it. Come on.
At the end of the day, man, I've said this a million times, but I'm a sucker for stuff like this, right? When you get stuff going like this, because you know, this is what makes America great. Stuff like this. Like I always say, if I could define America, it would be the KFC Taco Bell combined restaurant. I mean, that right there is Americana, right? And then you're gonna just
stand out front.
Exactly. Sometimes they'll even combine it with an A&W if you're in real rural America. You know what I mean? Like if you're really in the trenches.
Yeah.
And that's what you got to love. And this is just taking it to a whole other level, in my opinion. I mean, first of all, it's like, you know, you remember where you were when the Doritos Locos Tacos came out, right? I mean, that was like a game changer. And now I just think that I mean, this is why I like this stuff. There was probably like 20 executives sitting around a massive mahogany wood desk, probably cost $7,500. They're all sitting around the table and they're like, what can we do that's just so absurd, so ridiculous that people like myself are going to talk about it for 10 minutes. And someone in the room said, boom, I got it. We are going to enhance the size of a cheese. Now listen to me, hear me out. Listen, I know. Time out. We're going to times it by 16, right?
Oh man.
And not only that, but we're going to throw it in the crunch wrap. But it doesn't stop there. They're also doing they're doing a taco, but it's a flat taco and it's just a giant cheese and they're just dumping beef on top of it and they're giving it to you like that. So, I mean, this is like, it's just stuff like this that I'll never get over. Now let's check out the video because they dropped a promo here.
Oh, they got a promo with it?
And yeah, I mean, so this obviously has had to have been in the works for a while. I mean, they kept it under wraps for a while. They kept it hidden from us.
This advertisement's either going to make me eat it or not want it.
Where in the hell am I here? Am I even still on?
You got me ready. Come on, bud. Let's go.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
I better not be disappointed.
No, here we go. Sorry about that, boys. Okay. So let's check. Now, this is also a world exclusive because I haven't watched it myself. So let's check it out.
Here we go. How did you get it?
You better believe I'm on the newsletter, Cav. It's funny you say that. I was deleting a bunch of emails.
Of course, it's on Barstool.
75,000 emails from Taco Bell.
Oh, wait, is that it? Oh my gosh.
Yeah, 16 times bigger than a regular Cheez-It cracker. Read that again. All right, here we go, boys.
Blow it up.
See, I told you. Oh my God.
Whoa.
Hold on. All right. So we're going to have to get on the flight tomorrow. They're testing it at in Irvine, California at one location.
Put that on the big screen, bot.
Did it not
we got to
come
see it
up?
one more time. No, we got to see it one more time.
Oh, Roger.
I mean, you're sharing it.
I just want to pray for the Taco Bell staff at 222 Barranca Parkway. They are going to be working overtime tomorrow. That place is going to be wrapped around the building with cars. All right, let's try it out again with the full screen here. You got it full screen?
There we go.
Oh my God. Now we're talking. This is cinema here, boys. Here we go.
Wow.
Oof. Wow. Upbeat music. Okay.
Cheez-It tostada.
I mean, what's next?
That might
That's
be,
the only
might
question.
be pretty good, though. That might be pretty good.
Might be. Rev,
I mean,
let's take a pause here, right? You're talking about a Cheez-It the size of a waffle, essentially, right? And then you're just dumping ground beef on it. That is going to hit. And I don't want you to get, like I said, I just don't want you to get left behind because I know you really revolutionized the game with that.
No doubt.
That par burger or whatever. But I'm just saying, you got to keep it the times, bro.
So what I suggest we do though is we need to all go to our local Taco Bell restaurants, right? Establishments. Go ahead and pick up one of these Cheez-It tostadas.
Yep.
And come on alive real quick, and we all just dig in.
Well, the problem is they're only in that one location. But I'm reading here, D. Rowley, he's 30 minutes away.
Yeah.
Well, I'll just get D. I'll send him my address. He can put it in a vacuum seal, USPS 2-day priority, that thing. God only knows how that would be smelling up in the truck on its way over here. But D, if you can make that happen, man, I will very much make it worth your while. I promise. But like I said, I mean, it's incredible to know that there was just the thought process and the overall intuition that went into developing a product like that is just,
I love Z-Bot how these type of advertisements always get you, man. It's like you're just a sucker for
every
this
time.
kind of stuff, man.
How do you find these? Like, how do you get these?
How do I get the Cheez-Its or how do I get the ads?
How do you find these ads?
The
How do you
Arby's
stumble
thing
upon
started. Well, the Arby's thing started because, I mean, anybody who watched the draft, you might as well have been watching. It was an Arby's commercial with 30, 40-second snippets of people getting drafted by the NFL. I mean, that's all it was. Every block that was a commercial. was an Arby's commercial. It was getting to the point where I just couldn't believe it. So that's how that all started. Now this Cheez-It thing, like I said, I'm just kind of looking up something to fix my headphones, and boom. You want to know what though? They know what they're doing. It's those what do they call it? What's the marketing strategy there where they know all your info?
Oh
no, you know how they know your stuff, whatever your cookies or whatever.
Cookies
exactly.
and stuff, yeah.
They know I want to see the Taco Bell stuff. They know it.
And they get you every time. They get you every time. All right, guys. Look, every time. So now, in case you wonder, we're going to talk about some Buffalo Bills football. Okay, guys? Look. Anytime you get
we are? My bad.
Me and Bod and Evan and Kevin, hey, there's no telling what we're going to talk about. And so we just let it flow. All right, we just definitely let it flow. So what we're going to do now, we're moving on, and I've got my man Kevin here for a reason because, not just because of his handsome face. And Kevin, I'm surprised you're not laying in portrait mode, man. I'm used to that. I need you to lay in portrait mode, man. Like that was.
That's because the draft I was watching on TV in my room, So I had to get I had to get comfy.
Okay, well, get comfortable with this, man, because Silas comes in with a super chat. And he asks you directly, Kev. He says, yo, Dolphins Twitter is predicting 12+ wins for the Flippers. Flippers, man. What do you think your team will do, Kevin Guerard?
Probably 10. If everything goes well and they stay healthy, maybe 11. But we'll see. They won 10 and 9 the last 2 years. And this year, their team on paper, at least, is more talented than the years before. So it's not unreasonable to think they would equal the same output of a couple of years ago. Mm-hmm. So 10 plus now they play an extra game. So I could see 10 or 11. It's not an overly difficult schedule either.
Right. I think people are kind of poo-pooing on the Dolphins a little bit. They don't realize that the Dolphins have a very good roster, especially on the defensive side of the ball. We already know what they got with Jalen Waddle and then adding Tyreek Hill. But on the defensive side of the ball, you got some dogs on that defense, especially in the secondary. And talking about secondaries, I don't know if you guys got the chance to see what PFF put out, but they put out a top 10 AFC secondaries list. And maybe some Bills fans are a little salty right now. But when you look at a top 10 AFC secondaries list, and I'm interested in get you guys' thoughts. But this is who they had top 10. As a matter of fact, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go from 10 up. Okay. So at 10, they have the Jets, 10th place. Followed by the Chiefs at number 9. The Broncos at 8. Titans at 7, Bengals at 6, and then here we go. Here's the top 5. Number 5 is the Chargers. Number 4 is the Bills. 3 is the Dolphins. The Browns at number 2, and then the Ravens at number 1. So the Ravens are the number 1 secondary in the AFC, according to PFF Mike Renner, followed by the Browns, and then the Dolphins. Kevin, I got you on here, man, because I want you to talk your talk, man. I want you to talk your talk to all of these Buffalo Fanatics out here and Bills Mafia. I want you to tell them that they have no reason to be salty about the Bills being 4th place to the Dolphins at number 3. Tell me what you think about that.
It's close. You've got nothing at corner until White comes back. You're banking on a rookie that's never played a snap, and the other guys you got on the boundary are either bums or are unproven. Taron Johnson's a very nice nickel, and you got the best safety tandem in the league. So that's pretty good. Miami's corners are vastly superior, obviously. Even if you want to play the homer and say that White and Howard cancel each other out, Byron Jones is better than any other corner on your roster. But your safeties are a lot better than ours. But I think a lot of the casual fan isn't, doesn't know too much about. I know you guys like Taron Johnson in the slot, but Nick Needham, same thing. They're pretty similar. Neither of them gave up a touchdown last year. And then, of course, at safety, we got the young lad, number 8, Javon Holland. I think he's going to make the Pro Bowl this year. That's not homer talk. I need you guys to go back and watch the second half of last year and watch him play. You guys still so that's where had you put the Bills 3 and Miami 4, I would have been okay. Had you put Miami 3 and the Bills 4, I would have been okay. Miami's got better corners, Bills got better safeties.
Yeah,
I think the Ravens deserve to be number 1 because they have everything. And but it's the Browns.
That was a weird one to me. The Browns at
Jackson has 300 plus snaps without giving up a TD.
Yeah, Silas with the super
I guess that's regular season only, eh?
Yeah, I'm not too sure.
Pretty sure he gave one up to Tyreek Hill, but
everybody's giving up one to Tyreek.
But yeah, no,
everybody. I mean, I don't really have a bone to pick with that. I mean, when you look at it, I mean, my question is, I wonder if.
Sorry, I just want to say before the comment disappears, Silas, yes, Broncos should be higher. Justin Simmons is the best safety in the game, and Surtain played really well.
That's a very good secondary, also, man. Yeah. No doubt. And the Ravens, hands down, to me, are the best secondary. I mean, I would even put them up, not just in the AFC, but in the NFL, one of the top secondaries. Evan, talk to me, man. Talk to me. I know this is all about the Buffalo Bills, but man, we have to give respect, right? I mean, we're talking about the top 10 secondaries. I mean, would you move anybody around in that list? When you think about that list, Ravens, Browns, let's just talk about the top 5, all right? Ravens, Browns, Dolphins, Bills, Chargers. Is there anybody that you would flip?
Well, if you're talking about a fully healthy squad, I probably would put the Bills and Dolphins over the Browns. I think the Browns have a great secondary. Denzel Ward, one of the top corners. Greg Newsome, a great corner. Greedy Williams, another young great corner. And you got John Johnson and Grant Delpit as a safety tandem. Very solid. Yeah. But like you mentioned, you got Byron Jones and Xavier Howard and Nick Needham for the Dolphins. Those are 3 very well put together corners to make a nice trio with Javon Holland in the back end. He's a great young safety. The Bills, best safety tandem in football. Let's just say they're all healthy. Trey White, top 3 corner. And then you got Kyer Elam, who could be really good. We're going top 3. Going top 3. And then you got Taron Johnson, one of the best nickels in the game. But really where it all ends for me in the AFC is the Baltimore Ravens. They undoubtedly have, you can argue, the best secondary in football. You got Marcus Peters. You got Marlon Humphrey. You got Kyle Hamilton, and you also have Marcus Williams. That's a great 4 to work with. And I know Marcus Peters is coming off injury, and so is Marlon Humphrey as well. But those guys, when healthy, are phenomenal. I mean, Marcus Peters gets compared to Trayvon Diggs, but Marcus Peters is a second corner. He's not going to get toasted on an island all the time. He's playing, the second receiver. So he's put in a great situation to succeed and take balls back to the house.
Kevin, you look like you wanted to say something about that when my man Evan talked about Trey being a top 3 cornerback.
Yeah, no, it's not.
Come on, all right. So
he's not better than Jair Alexander. He's not better than Ramsey. He's not. Better
I have him at 3 right there.
He's not better than Xavier Howard. He's arguably, and he's good in your system because he gets to play with 2 all-pro safeties behind him, covering up anything. And he can play very aggressive, and he's an elite zone corner. But if you were to move him and put him on a different system and ask him to play man corner, ask him to travel, ask him to match up, ask him to do whatever, he's going to be beneath J.C. Jackson. He's going to be who else we got?
Well, the same can be said, right? The same can be said for other corners, right? That are just man only.
Yeah, White is an elite corner. I just don't put him at 3. I think you can make.
I have him at 3 because he's been the best 3rd down corner in football over the last 3 years.
So if you get beat,
you're getting the guy. No, he's the best 3rd down corner in football. He's getting the guys off the field.
I find it ironic that his nickname is Big Play Trey, and he makes so much fewer big plays than all the other guys on the list.
So I'm saying I have him top 3 because he's one of the best 3rd down corners in the NFL, and he's been doing it at the highest rate over the last 3 to 4 years. If you're getting guys off the field, that's the number 1 job a corner can do, is get takeaways and get guys off the field.
Yeah, but he's not getting the takeaways that the other guys get. And if you want to focus on one,
I wouldn't measure interceptions as a great way to just tell how good a corner is, because if like that, then Trayvon Diggs is like.
No,
top
that's
three.
I hate that because
Yeah.
people say that, oh, I don't like interceptions because they can go up or down. That's fine because you can have a guy that has one great year and one not. But when you have a guy that's consistent
Jackson.
for his whole career in a top 5, then you have to acknowledge that. There's a difference between an aberration and a difference between consistency. And say JC Jackson, for instance. I know you guys love to hate on him because Diggs seems to have his number, which I agree. But this isn't like he had one big year every year. You know what I mean? That's when I think you have to take turnovers into account because you can isolate, third down corner. That's great. So he's getting beaten first and second. I don't know.
No. That's not.
Go ahead.
No, that's not what I mean in general. Like what I mean by third down, it's like when he's targeted on third down, he's like the number 1 corner in football. Like
targeted.
Untargeted. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
But he has he didn't have 2 years ago when Howard should have been Defensive Player of the Year. Howard had a better quarterback rating against. Howard has the highest interception per target ratio in the history of the NFL.
Mm-hmm.
I'll say it again.
I think
not the amount of interceptions, the amount of interceptions per target in the history of the NFL.
Yeah, Xavier Howard is a very good cornerback. Very, very good. I don't think, to me, I mean, I think it's I don't know, a tit for tat almost. I mean, because they're different systems, right? I mean, you can Trey is an elite zone corner. Howard is an elite man corner. Switch them both out of their systems. I mean, how well will they be? You know what I'm saying? So I'm not.
Okay. I think that Howard would not be as good as White
in zone.
In zone, absolutely.
Right.
But I think that White would be exposed and picked on if he played in Miami's system. If he had to play man coverage with no safety help, where he had to play bump and run in the the cover zero looks, I do not think he holds up as well as at least 4 or 5 guys that I can name. And to me, that's why I'll always take a guy like Darrelle Revis over Richard Sherman. Again, I'm not saying in any way that White's not a fantastic Pro Bowl caliber player. He is. We're just talking about like the top 3. You know what I mean? So I don't want anyone to think I'm hating on him. I recognize that he's an elite player. Yeah.
Bot, man, what you got, man?
I was kind of just taking that all in, but I think the one thing that we realized last year is Tre'Davious White is a great corner, like Kevin was saying. I mean, he truly is. But the one thing that I couldn't help but notice last year was the defense without him and with him. It wasn't all that different when you looked at the outcome on the field based on what was happening in the backfield. I was remarkably, in a positive way, I'll say, too. This isn't a knock on Tre'Davious White. I think it's honestly a credit to, one, Jordan Poyer and Micah Hyde, but also to Leslie Frazier as well. I think the defense did an extraordinary job of really making it seem like Tre'Davious White was not injured. Because I remember multiple times on these shows throughout last season, we would talk about certain elements of each game, and you would kind of get hit with the fact where you're like, oh, that's right. Tre'Davious White, he still isn't playing. And the crazy thing to me is thinking about how much better this team can and will be this coming season when you talk about having him back. And then, of course, adding to that position in the draft in the first round. So that's the exciting element. But when we're talking about what Kevin's saying, like with Xavier Howard, for example, I don't know if that would necessarily be the case. And I think that is a testament to what the Bills also have behind Tre'Davious White as well. But when we're talking about super elite top 3, I think I'd have to agree with what the sentiment in the room here is, strictly because last year, I mean, if you're talking about elite, if you're off the field, the presence should be immediately felt. It should be noticeable. I personally did not think that was the case last year. And like I said, I don't think that is at all a detriment to Tre'Davious White. I think it's a lot of credit to what the Bills were able to do to supplement it. But with that said, I truly think about the word elite. I mean, it's easy to cherry pick the quarterback position, but when you think about any of these top quarterbacks, elite quarterbacks, if they're not playing, the odds of you winning go down dramatically. And when I looked at the Bills defense last year, I don't think there was a dramatic drop off a cliff because Tre'Davious White wasn't in. So yes, I think he is an exceptional corner, one of the best in the league. But when we're talking about the top of the iceberg, I kind of agreed with what Kevin had to say there.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I tend to agree, and I'm looking at some of the advanced stats here. I just pulled some stuff up from playerprofiler.com, and I'm looking at, and I mean, of course, we're comparing, right? This is the name of the game, and when I look at Trey White, you look at his productivity. Last year, 2.3 receptions per game allowed, 26 yards allowed per game. 11.6 yards per reception allowed, 5.8 yards per target allowed with 9 pass breakups. And then let's just look at Xavier Howard as well. Last year, I mean, we're comparing, right? And so he had 2.3 receptions.
You're talking about last year, right? How many more games? But Tre'Davious White only played.
Well, yeah, right.
So does that factor it in?
He didn't play a full season. But what I'm saying is the numbers are tit for tat. They're very similar. Yards allowed, you've got 36.9 for Xavier Howard, 15.9 yards per reception allowed compared to Trey's 11.6. Trey had 9 PBUs. You've got 12 for Xavier Howard. Xavier Howard had 5 touchdowns allowed, and then Trey had 0 touchdowns allowed. But now, obviously, those are in different systems, right? So I mean, even though you can look at the numbers and try to compare them, it's hard to compare them because they're in different systems. I mean, when you look at Xavier Howard giving up 15.9 yards per reception in a man scheme, I mean, would Trey give up that much, or would he give up more? You know what I'm saying, and vice versa. So, I mean, this is, I mean, we're nitpicking here. I mean, at the end of the day, they're both elite corners for what they do in their systems.
Yeah, and one of them travels with the other player's best receiver.
Yeah, well, and that's the system, right?
Yeah, Trey White does that too, though. I mean, you saw a significant drop off in the Bills' man coverage snaps from when Trey was playing compared to when he was injured. Like, the Bills do run a lot more man with Trey on the field because he can travel. So I wouldn't say like he just cannot travel. Can he travel as well as Xavier Howard? Probably not. He probably cannot travel as good.
I'm just curious. When was the last game that he actually traveled for like the entire game? Not for a few snaps, but I mean, like, when was the last time he traveled and covered and followed a guy across the formation? Because I've seen every Bills game, and I can't recall one ever.
Off the top of my head, I'd have to like go back and
Kevin, I'd have to agree with you. Yeah, I think that is. I don't know if it's a fault of Tre'Davious White. I think it's just the way that they run the system.
It's not a fault. It's the scheme. The scheme is
exactly
scheme.
Right, and that doesn't mean that he can't.
And you don't need to do it because you're the best defense in the league.
So well, that's also why this
not a shot. Like you're a better defense than we are. I get that, and your scheme is great. And the players around him are great, and Milano, and there's safeties, and there's so much help all around him that you don't need to do these things. Whereas Miami's scheme is we don't have an organic pass rush really, so everything's schemed up. So they leave their corners on an island. So that's why when you do catch a ball, there's more of a chance for a bigger play. But like, so again, it's not a shot on White, but I'm curious. But he doesn't do it, so. He and when he has done it for a little bit, like when he did against Arizona, it didn't go so well. Or when he moved against Hopkins in the playoffs for a couple snaps against Hopkins again, it didn't go so well. Or when he kind of tried to do it a bit with Keenan Allen a couple of years ago in the regular season game, it didn't go so well. And eventually he went back to his side and he was covering Guyton. So like.
Is a Dolphins scheme? Do they play any zone at all, or are they just straight man?
No, they play like every team plays more zone than man. Miami just has them in Baltimore, I believe, the 2 highest percentages. But what it is they'll show man, and then they'll just kind of play like lanes, zones, that sort of stuff. But I don't know. Again, we're splitting hairs.
Exactly.
I know it's so tough to do this
because I'm not trying to. Like I'm going to go for my guy because my guy makes more
That's why I
plays in the ball. Yeah. My guy makes more plays in the ball than any corner in the NFL history. So I'm going to go for that. You know what I mean? And that's a fact. So that's what I'm going to go for.
The crazy thing about corner is the top, right? If you have a top guy, then it's so marginal, the difference between the best guy in the league and a guy who is considered to be elite, like we're arguing here. The difference is it's crazy because it's so tough to rank those guys. But when you just get from that chunk of top guys to the mediocre and lower end, the difference is so noticeable. But at the top, It's so marginal. And that's what I
Yeah.
think makes this so difficult to rank. The cornerback position to me would be one of the toughest positions to rank because
It's
there's
very-
so many
it's very
elements,
difficult. Yeah.
and everybody's got a different scheme to play in as well.
Yeah, and I think the Bills and the Dolphins. I mean, when you're talking about secondaries, I mean, 3 Dolphins, Bills 4. You can flip it if you want to. I think it's a wash because I mean, you give the edge to the Bills safeties, right? But then you give the edge, I mean, maybe to the Dolphins corners when you look at them all together. Especially in the scheme that they play, But what I'm interested in is Kyer Elam. Granted, yeah, he is a rookie. I mean, the same could be said for any rookie, right? I mean, you talk about, well, they never played it down. Yeah. Granted, I get that. And so it's kind of hard to say, well, they're going to be this good, and so you actually see them. But there's a reason he was a first-round draft pick. Just like there was a reason why. What's your man? Well, maybe there wasn't a reason. What's that guy who played corner? I mean, who played in the nickel for you guys? Kevin Igbenogany. Who was drafted in round 1 and then
he plays on the bench. He's a bum. Yeah. That's the guy who the Bills who remember when Diggs had the huge game a couple years ago.
He destroyed
because Byron Jones remember they collided when they were running a route. They put in Igbenogany. Yeah. Oh my God.
Yep, I remember that.
Diggs went off for 7,000 yards. It was so bad.
Yeah, he destroyed him. Yeah, he definitely destroyed him.
Difficult to watch.
Yeah, but I like Kyer Elam. At least I like his potential and what he can offer. Coming out of Florida, he's more of a man corner and a bigger body than Trey is. I mean, to a degree. And so, I mean, you put him in the scheme and allowing him to play a little bit more of the man. Plus, you've got the safeties back there. I mean, I think sky's the limit. I know as well as a lot of other Bills fans, we can't wait for Trey to come back healthy because, yeah, we've got one of the best safety tandems in the league, but I'm still a little bit kind of shaky with Dane Jackson. And I mean, for Dane Jackson and a rookie, that's what kind of concerns me a little bit as we go into the season, depending upon how long Trey is going to be out. With the quarterbacks that we're going to be facing early in the season, it's going to be a challenge. Without a doubt. I like that top 10 list. I do kind of have some questions about the Browns being at second place. I like the Chargers, especially when they added J.C. Jackson. And then you look at this their unit in totality. I really like that. I would probably put them up a little higher than 5. Maybe you can move the Browns down and flip them with the Chargers. I don't know, but like I said, we're splitting hairs there.
I can't believe the Jets made the list, even though there's only 14 teams. I don't know how they're 10. Who is ranked below the Jets?
Yeah, I don't know. They only have top 10. So I'm
they don't even have Marcus May anymore.
Yeah, well, who
They've
did they?
got nothing. And
maybe the rookie Gardner. Yeah, I think he's getting I think that number may be a little bit inflated because of Sauce. But yeah, the Broncos are another good secondary as well. Broncos are a very good sneaky team too. I think we got to watch out for them going forward. All right, guys. So hey, we are an hour and a half into the show. To the chat, appreciate you guys for hanging with us. So look, do us a favor, please. Okay, if you are not connected to the Buffalo Fanatics, do me this favor: like, comment, and subscribe to the channel, and turn those bell notifications on. All right, so you can stay up to date with everything Buffalo Bills and all things Buffalo Fanatics. We are going to bring you that content, whether you like it or not. It's the dead time of the season, baby. But we're going to bring you that content. And my man Kevin Guerard and Evan Harrington, the Reverend Evan, in the building with us. Moving along in the show, guys. Moving along in the show. I want to talk about something that I kind of pondered, and I kind of threw this, in our little BF chat earlier in the week. And I'm curious to kind of get you guys' thoughts about this, what you think about it. I mean, Kevin, I know you are a Bills fan at heart, man. I mean, I know you like the Fins, but man, you can't stick with us so long and not kind of have a small little place in your heart for the Buffalo Bills. And so, what do you guys think about the future of the Bills wide receiver room? And when I say about the future, I'm really talking about beyond Steph Diggs. Okay, I mean, we got Diggs locked up, right? But when you look beyond Diggs, does the wide receiver room give you guys encouragement or kind of room for concern? But what do you think, man?
I'm definitely not concerned at this moment. The one reason I am or I'm not, and I would say that really any team right now, no matter what position you're in, shouldn't be. The talent at the wide receiver position that's coming out from college into the draft nowadays is just the bird. There's so many guys who immediately enter the draft and ultimately become impact players right out of the gate. I mean, you look at Gabriel Davis, just for an example, in our current situation, a late round pick who, you know, at the time, nobody's thinking twice of it, right? And now we're talking about going into this season and him potentially having a chance to become one of the best young wide receivers in the league and solidify himself as the second best wide receiver on this Bills roster. Currently, right now, the Bills are obviously in one of the better shapes in the league when it comes to that position. But when I look towards the future, you reconstructed Diggs' deal. That's great. You hope that you really hope that Gabriel Davis winds up repeating what he was bringing to the table, not only last season in its entirety, but mainly what we saw in the postseason. You hope that winds up panning out. And then after that, I mean, obviously not wide receiver, but at the tight end position, I really love what Dawson Knox did last season. I mean, I'm talking a massive leap in what I think a lot of people didn't, you know, in an area where I didn't think people expected that to happen. I mean, I was one of them as well that was kind of out on Dawson Knox 2 years ago, just based on what I had seen last year. That eliminated any thought in my mind that I had about that. And then right now, I think when you have your solidified guys, what teams like the Bills and other elite teams throughout the league do, they add veteran presence to surround your core guys with, so you have depth, but also guys that can deliver. But when you're talking about the future, I think right now, because when I think of the future for the Bills, right, things could change dramatically a handful of years down the road. When I think future, I really think about the next like 3 years, because to me, that's what
I'm talking about.
Yeah. And I think when I'm looking at that current situation, I have no issues whatsoever currently with what the Bills have going on in their wide receiver room. And, you know, if, like I said, if things wind up going in a direction that was unforeseen, I just look at what you're able to do now to add at that position. And when you have a guy like Josh Allen, see, that's the thing. Not only has every wide receiver that's come into Buffalo made Josh Allen better, but Josh Allen has ultimately made every single one of those wide receivers better too. And I think that you can bring in guys in Buffalo that wouldn't ultimately do well in other areas. That's why I'm interested to see what Jamison Crowder kind of brings to the table this year, because it's a veteran presence. You're not expecting anything, you know, outrageous. But once again, it's kind of like John Brown's situation where you come in towards the latter end of your career here. And John Brown, I mean, he was ultimately a spark plug for Josh Allen's entire career, what he was able to bring to the table,
right,
as well as Cole Beasley. So I have a really tough time ever having an issue until I'm brought it to the forefront when Josh Allen's throwing the ball to somebody out there, unless it's a situation like when Josh Allen first came into the league where it's Zay Jones and Calvin Benjamin, where you just know off the bat it's going to be brutal. It's going to be bad. But the way things are going now, man, I have no reason to be concerned about the way the locker room is heading in.
Yeah, I agree. But I think who does have a reason to be concerned is Kevin, because, you know, my man Dog26 comes in here, and you guys forgive me for missing these super chats, but he comes in and we're going to go right back real quickly. He says, well, Kev, y'all need to switch schemes because we scorch y'all on the regular. Talking about this man scheme that you guys play and how, you know, we've been scorching you guys on the regular. Kev, I mean, what do you got to say about that, man? You want to come back to Dog26?
Nah, we played better last year. I know the first game got super ugly because eventually, like with Brissett in there, it was just so awful that eventually you guys started scoring. But in the first half, they played you guys pretty well. Like the
I like the little subtle jab you just took right there. Say that again about Brissett, and then, you know, when Brissett came in, then we started scoring.
Brissett came in after the first series, so he played the whole game. Like Tua threw 2 passes, like he was crushed right away, right? So. And the same thing, the second game when the offense exploded for 11 points. So when your team always has the ball, right? When they always have the ball, keep in mind, last game you guys played, you had 3 points at halftime. Actually, you had 0 at halftime. That's right. We were winning 3-0.
Yeah, but it's a 60-minute ball game, though, Kev.
Exactly. And you didn't do anything in the second half really either until you scored that classless last-second touchdown when you could have kneeled, but for some reason you kept going for it because – Miami was deep in their own end. Tua throws yet another pick.
Because we hate y'all, man. That's why, Kev.
And all you had to do was kneel, but for some reason you scored.
And then you went for 2.
And then you went for 2. No, it was Hyde. I was at
Oh, it was
that
Hyde.
game.
Yeah. So it was.
Yeah, I was there too. That was
And then
great.
he went for
Were you-
2. Remember, it was so weird. But
I
like
loved it.
they played you like considering what Josh Allen normally does against normal guys. Last year, like the second game we played you was pretty decent. Diggs, he didn't do much. So we had like it was okay. I if we played you guys, the defense
Wait, what do you mean
like
Diggs
we
didn't do
played you
much?
last
You
time.
talking about on the stat sheet? Is that what you're talking about? Because he does a lot, even though he may not,
I just meant in that
on the
game.
stat sheet.
No,
in that
just in
game.
the game, not in general. Diggs is awesome. I just mean
Right.
like we did a pretty good job. We did pretty good. Howard did a pretty good job on him in 2 games last year. Consider he's playing man against them all game. Look what he does to guys like J.C. Jackson and stuff like that. So, I think he averaged 50 yards a game against Miami last year. So it was pretty good. Like if we could play that way, that defensively away, and actually, score. Hey, maybe the defense, if they didn't have to play 55 of 60 minutes, they might play a little bit better. So while I agree, you guys have done, and again, not to take anything away, Allen's had his way for sure. But man, I don't care who it is. If the defense plays the whole game, they have no chance, right? So the offense has to this year, if they want to have any chance, they have to at least sustain a few drives. Can't leave the defense out there to dry, hanging out there to dry all game.
Go ahead. What's up?
Kev. Hey, Kev. So when I was on the Rico Report just a few weeks ago, we actually had a discussion if a team out of the AFC East was supposed to beat the Bills this year. I actually had you guys splitting a game with the Bills potentially, just because about what happened last year. Like I agree with all the points you were making, and I hate to say that the Dolphins might have a shot, but the way that you guys matched up against us defensively and just the way we were playing offensively, it just wasn't it. If there was a team that was going to beat the Bills in the AFC East and the Bills couldn't, sweep it and go 6-0, it'd be the Dolphins splitting a game potentially, in their own stadium.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Maybe they flew law of averages. It just comes down to Tua, right? So
yeah, absolutely.
He's the big difference. So
Absolutely.
I think, and I know a lot of the Bills fans won't agree, but I think our rosters are comparable. Like you have really good wide receivers. I think we have really good wide receivers. You have really good defensive backs. I think we have really good defensive backs. You've got Von Miller, but I got 2 guys that have 9+ sacks in Jalen Phillips and Ogba. And we picked up Melvin Ingram, who's not bad as your third rusher.
I hated that.
I like Christian Wilkins in the middle. I like Raekwon Davis in the middle. I like Zach Sealer in the middle. I like Baker as one of my linebackers. So, but you guys have Josh Allen, and we've got Tua. So, like, you guys couldn't see, but my hand's touching the floor. So that's the difference, right? Like, we're never going to be a threat to you guys if we can't score. And hopefully this is Tua's last year. We got a bunch of friggin' draft picks next draft, like a ton of them. We got a couple of 2s. We got like 3 3s, stuff like I got a whole bunch of them.
Yeah,
so
that might be the year for you guys.
Yeah, we need to move up for a QB. So that's the difference. I think the roster, like I said.
Okay. So Silas comes in with the super chat, and they're coming at you, Kev. You're talking about Trey White. Yeah. He says Trey is not asked to travel due to scheme, but when he does, he's effective. To say he'd be exposed is hyperbole. Both games you mentioned were 1-score games.
But that doesn't matter if you could be 34-35. It doesn't mean you had a great game. So what I'm saying is that I disagree. I agree that he doesn't get asked to travel much for the scheme, but you got asked to travel once against Devontae Parker. He gave up 5 catches on 7 passes for 85 yards. They took him off him.
He's always had a hard time.
The only members you guys had that streak where no one had 100 yards. He was the only one that had 100 yards that year. I remember that year against you guys, and that's because you asked White to cover him man on man.
Yeah, I remember that. I mean, we have to be honest, right? I mean, Trey, he's always had a problem. Even Preston Williams, too.
Williams is a bum. He's the reason you guys got that win streak. Because 4 games ago, he dropped the winning touchdown in his stomach. In the end zone.
I actually thought he had promised once upon a time.
I did too. How do you think? Well, I don't want to ask that question. I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. Let's get back. Let's get back on the wide receivers because I wanted to get down there because I missed some super chats. So you guys forgive me for missing the super chats. Yo, Z-Bot, how's that mic smelling over there, buddy?
Like a Cheez-It?
Like a Cheez-It from Taco Bell.
Let me tell you what, not yet. Not until I get my hands on that bad boy. Then we're gonna be smelling this all day long.
It smells like a skull.
You'll never get me from up behind this thing after I eat one of those. That's one of those things that will linger with you for days afterwards, right? You know what I'm saying?
Oh, man. Yeah, absolutely.
But it's smelling good. I appreciate you asking.
There you go,
good.
man. It's had to check on you over there, man. Check on you. All right, so wide receivers. All right, so let's go down. Evan, I want to hear your thoughts because Z-Bot doesn't. I mean, he doesn't seem to be concerned about the Buffalo Bills wide receiver room going forward in the future, and we're talking about within the next few years or so. What do you think about the wide receiver room going forward?
Well, yeah, when you're looking at the Bills wide receiving room, you're going to have Stephon Diggs in there, but we're looking without Stephon Diggs. If we're not
minus
bring
Diggs,
Stephon Diggs into the threshold, and he'll still be an elite receiver by the time he's 31 years old. But we're looking at Gabe Davis, Khalil Shakir, Isaiah McKenzie might still be around depending if he takes those team-friendly deals.
Mm-hmm.
Jamison Crowder's a guy who's not going to be on this roster by the time 3 years looks into the marks. Isaiah Hodgins, I think we've had our dues with him. Jay Kumro's a guy who probably just won't be on this roster. Tavon Austin's a guy who won't be on this roster.
He's getting up in an age anyway, too. Yeah.
I mean, there you go. I mean, what Zach mentioned, guys in the draft, free agents. A player that I like to mention is Emmanuel Sanders. Like Emmanuel Sanders was a high key free agent acquisition that the Bills brought in here last offseason because Josh Allen. Josh Allen is that guy. He can attract, those guys later in their careers. They might want to have their last pit stop in Buffalo to try and go chase a ring. So we'll always have the option to bring, a veteran receiver in. We'll always have the option to bring in some young spark plugs from the draft. But, I really feel comfortable, with our number 2 receiver going forward in Gabe Davis. And I feel really comfortable with our starting slot receiver in Khalil Shakir. If he can really step into that role, he's a player that I really like. I have his comparable player to being Robert Woods. So I think Khalil Shakir can be that guy. And I don't think he'll be as good as Robert.
Hold on. I saw something. Kevin, you look like you kind of.
No, I just hadn't thought
think
of
about
before.
that.
It was a
good thought about that.
It was an interesting
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, just the way he goes about blocking and running his routes and, his after the catch ability, how he might take a step back and step upfield instead of just, hitting the whole upfield. He really, has the patience of Robert Woods with the ball in his hands. And that's what I like to see. And, we'll see a lot of, end arounds with Khalil Shakir. Like Khalil Shakir is a very patient player in his game. Right.
Now, I'll be honest. I'm slightly concerned, just a tad bit. Because, granted, we got Diggs. And in a few years, Evan, you think Diggs can still be elite at 31?
Well, the reason I think Diggs is still going to be elite by the time he's 31 years old is because he doesn't really put too much wear and tear on his body when he plays his game. He's a very technical route runner. He really uses his route running to get open. He's not like Julio Jones. Yeah, he knows how to get down. He's not like when you saw the drop off with Julio Jones. Julio Jones dropped off because he literally, relied on athleticism and his physicality. Stephon Diggs is the complete opposite of that. He has to use some athleticism for sure, but a lot of his, creativity comes with his route running, and you're never going to lose your route running ability. You can lose your athleticism like Julio Jones did, but you'll never lose your route running capability that Stephon Diggs has. And you'll see players, like Keenan Allen, who's a great runner, Devontae Adams, who's a great route runner. You'll see those guys play into their, maybe mid to the early 30s, just because of the capabilities they can do as technical route runners.
Okay. The reason why I think that, I'm kind of concerned is because now we're talking about beyond Diggs, right? So if you look beyond Diggs, the only guy that's on this roster that I can say with some level of certainty that okay, I feel pretty good about his potential right now is Gabe Davis. Everybody else, I know Kevin. I'm gonna get you, Kevin, because I know you feel some type of way about Gabe and about how a lot of Bills fans are hyping him up. But when you look Gabe Davis beyond that, who do we have? You had mentioned it, right? Crowder's not going to be here. He's probably not even going to be here next year. He's on a 2-year deal, but it's technically like a 1 year, right? 1 year
That's
deal.
A straight one.
Oh, it's just straight one. Okay, so I think that's McKenzie on a 2, right? Is that McKenzie on a 2?
Yeah, McKenzie's on a 2. Right. Crowder's on a 1.
Okay, and so McKenzie, I don't know how much longer he's gonna be here, and then you have a bunch of young guys that you just have no clue about, right? We got Stevenson. Like, come on now, like he's struggling to he's struggling to get on the field and kick returns, right, and punt returns. I don't know about Marquez Stevenson. I kind of had some hopes for him coming out of Houston, but now I'm kind of not too sure. Isaiah Hodgins, has he ever been on the field yet? I mean, the guy can't stay healthy. He hasn't been healthy his entire career so far. He has a lot to prove this year because I think. Oh no! I think he has another year on his contract because he came out with Gabe Davis.
Oh, he's got 2 years left.
This year and next year, right?
Yep.
Is it this year and next year? Yeah. So you've got him. Of course, you had mentioned a touchdown Jesus, right? So Jake Kumaro, he's getting up there in age. I think he's even close to 30. Tanner Gentry. I mean, we're talking about guys who are down on the low end of the roster. So I mean, outside of Diggs, which we're not even talking about, you got Gabe Davis. I mean, who else do we have when you try to project 2-3 years down the road that can really be viable? I don't see anybody. Khalil Shakir, I really like what he possibly could be, but we just don't know. And I'm curious to see what he's going to be able to even do here in training camp and what we even could see from him this year when we look at just this roster or this depth chart this year at the wide receiver position, whether or not he's going to even have an opportunity to showcase what he can do. Kev, I mean, let me jump to Z-Bot while he's over there snoring. Z-Bot, what do you think about Khalil Shakir, man? The rookie coming out of what do you come out of Boise State? What do you think? I like the comparison that Evan gave about Robert Woods.
Is it Boise State?
Is it Boise or is it Boise State? What is it? You guys correct me in the chat if I'm wrong. It's Boise State, right?
Yeah.
Yes, it is Boise State.
Yeah. I mean, I like Khalil. I love Evan. I love that comparison though.
No, I watched a lot of tape on Shakir, so I was like really.
Yeah, that's extremely interesting. Yeah, extremely interesting. And Kev, I mean, feel free to jump in here, man. I know you are.
I thought he had. I likened him to a Jarvis Landry with a bit more speed and not quite as good a hands. And if you want to stick with the Robert Woods, I think Woods has better natural hands. But I completely see what you're saying, Evan, and I agree. Yeah. Like once he has the ball in his hands, he's very Robert Woods. I loved Robert Woods coming out of USC.
I still love Robert Woods, man.
Yeah,
he'll be back. He's the number one receiver for the Titans right now.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
that's right. I forget about that.
Yeah, I mean, come on. What in the world were the Titans thinking when they got rid of AJ Brown? I have no clue. That was dumb. That was dumb. But yeah, Robert Woods, I love Robert Woods. Khalil Shakir, yeah, he does remind me of him. And like I said, I just want to know whether or not he's going to get the chance in camp. I mean, when you look at let's just stack the depth chart at wide receiver. All right, Diggs. Then we've got Davis, right? McKenzie, Crowder. Who do you guys pick? I mean, who do you think is going to come out of camp as a starting slot wide receiver for the Bills? Is it Crowder or is it going to be McKenzie?
Crowder.
F. Crowder.
Yeah, but I really look forward to what McKenzie. I just love Isaiah McKenzie. I hope that Dorsey finds a way to implement him in the offense more than Dable did, because I think that there's so much potential there. When they do decide to utilize him, it's effective. It's just very few and far between. Yeah.
I think Crowder's more proven, and I think that's why they may be leaning, towards him more. But McKenzie's been he's the longest tenured wide receiver currently on the roster, right?
Yeah,
I mean, he's been here for years. I think that he's going to see an increased amount of targets or an increased role, but I'm just not too sure that his role is going to be greater. Even though he has rapport with Josh Allen, I don't necessarily think his role is going to be greater than Crowder coming in, because I think Crowder, man, provides something that maybe McKenzie just hasn't proven yet, and I don't know if it's too late in the game for McKenzie. But that's something that I'm looking forward to in camp is trying to see who's going to come out on top in that position. And then behind them, I mean, who else? Who else do we have? I mean, we just got a bunch of depth guys. I mean, let me put this question out to you guys, and I'm gonna put it out to the chat too. We're talking about the future of the wide receiver room, right, beyond Steph Diggs. But what if that happens? Knock on wood. But this is just hypothetically speaking here. Would you, Z-Bot, be concerned, because you're not concerned about the future, right, without Diggs? But what if something unforsaken happened and Diggs missed any amount of time this year, and you had to go on with Gabe Davis and McKenzie and Crowder? I mean, how would you feel about the wide receiver room if Diggs missed any time? Because he's been very healthy since he's been on the Bills.
Yeah, but I mean, I just think that you could say that about just about anybody in the league. You look at the Bills roster and you compare it to other teams around the league who have, top line wide receiver talent. I mean, if you were to take away the wide receiver one on any team, things are going to dramatically change. So I look at the Bills. Yeah, if Stephon Diggs went down, Gabe Davis all of a sudden becomes your wide receiver one. Yeah, that's going to be a problem for sure. That's, to me, is one of the biggest reasons why I think Gabe Davis has a massive year. It's because, one, the role gets bigger with Cole Beasley gone, in my opinion. And two, you have those opportunities to get more targets simply based on the fact that Stephon Diggs draws the best corner. So when you lose that element, and then Gabe Davis is being covered by your best corner, things drop off dramatically. But when we're talking about this, I mean, find me a team around the league right now who has, what do we think of any example where you have one of the best wide receivers in the league? If you take them away, is any of those teams in a comfortable position without that guy? And I think the answer would be no. This coming season, I think a perfect example of that, and we'll find out what winds up happening here. But I'm just interested to see what the Chiefs look like without Tyreek Hill, right? I think they're going to be fine. I think they've added plenty of depth in that area that I think will supplement it to a degree. But Tyreek Hill, there's only one of them. So this is kind of like a perfect example of your question there, because Mahomes has only been with Tyreek Hill and Travis Kelce, right? Now things change. So I think, based on your question, a perfect example of what we could envision a team losing their top guy to look like, the Chiefs could be that example. And I think this year is going to be a very important year for Patrick Mahomes, because you're losing the weapon that essentially made you into what you were, or really helped define you as a quarterback and get you to the success that you've had so far.
Right, no doubt. Kev, what do you think, man, about the Bills wide receiver room outside
currently, or are you talking about the future?
This is just the future. Yeah, if we're looking, let's say 2 to 3 years down the road.
It's fine. I'm like, you got two guys that you are confident in, that you've got going forward for a few years. You've got a rookie that you're going to wait and see how he does. You still could always bring back McKenzie. He's still young enough that he could be around. And like Evan said, you're a prime candidate for these end of the line slot receivers who still have something in a little something in the tank that want to come in and play that 1 year, because of the fact that you're perennial contenders right now. So I wouldn't be too worried. I'm like, if there's not a lot of teams, like Z-Bot says, that has like 3 really good receivers for the future, right? Some teams have 1, some teams have 2, but there's very few that have more than 2 that you're going to say, hey, 2-3 years from now, these guys are still going to be my top 3 on the roster.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I can see that. I guess for me, when I just subtract Diggs and I'm just looking down the road, I mean, Gabe Davis, and I know you feel some type of way about Gabe. You're not as high on Gabe as a lot of us Bills fans are, Kev.
Oh, that's more just me teasing. Oh. I always just say, looking forward to next year when we can all hype up Gabe Davis and say this is the year, because it happens every year now. But I think he's a good player. I'd be interested to see. Look at this photo. What's with the head tilt?
Yo, Rico, man.
Jesus.
Look, man.
1996 in Boys to Men call. They want their album cover.
Oh, snap. Yo, that's
I love that
Morris right there, man. That's that Wanye Morris.
No, he's more like Sean. I'd be Wanye. You've never heard my dulcet tones yet. But Evan,
look at those traps. Yeah, look at those traps.
But Gabe Davis is a good player. I just tease. I like to have fun. Yeah, but I think this is his year, right? Like this has to be his year.
It has to.
I know he had the big playoff game, but his regular season wasn't much different than the year before. But you had Emmanuel Sanders ahead of him, and Emmanuel Sanders is a very good player. So this is the season now where he's kind of being thrust into a starter's role. It'll be interesting to see what happens, with a little bit more coverage rolled his way, but I think he'll be fine. I think he's going to be really good. And then I think Crowder's a crazy underrated signing for you guys, because he's been almost the only thing on the Jets for the last 3 years. Like if the Jets score against you, it's probably Crowder. You know what I mean?
He did.
And
He
he
had an
did.
80-yarder.
Yeah, and like he's a good player, and you got him for dirt cheap. You got him for 1 year. I think he's a almost a seamless Beasley fill-in. So Davis can still play on the outside. I think you guys will be fine. I wouldn't worry. Like I said, don't worry about the future. You got 2 solid guys moving forward. That's all you need. That's your foundation, right? And then if Shakir or whatever he turns out to be pretty good, or you have some draft picks later down the road, you just fill in that way.
Yeah, and I like how you mentioned. Go ahead, Evan. You got something to say? Go ahead.
Well, yeah, I was just going to mention how Kevin just mentioned the draft picks. Like the Bills have never spent a first-round pick on a wide receiver. Like that could be something that we address maybe 2 years in a row. If, for some reason, after Diggs, let's just say, let's not have this happen. Let's just say Stephon Diggs fades away, in 3 or 4 years. He's just not the same player. He's off the roster for some reason. Davis, you spend 2 first-round picks on receivers. I mean, what's the worst that can happen?
You're right there.
You never know.
Yeah, we'll be right there again. And Kevin, I like how you mentioned Jamison Crowder being an underrated addition to the Bills squad, and that's a perfect segue into our last segment as we are approaching the 2-hour mark. And guys, shout out to everybody who has been sticking with the Buffalo Fanatics and watching us. Yo, guys, do me a favor, like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Do us that favor, and we are close to wrapping this show up. But I want to ask this question, like, who is the most underappreciated, or I guess you can call underrated Buffalo Bill on the squad right now? And that can be either this offseason, like an offseason addition, or just in general. Kev, you had mentioned Jamison Crowder. I think a lot of people are sleeping on it. So let me see who I want to go with first right now. Kev, do you have anybody that you want to add to it, or are you sticking with Jamison?
Most underappreciated guy on the roster?
Yeah, most underappreciated Bill. Okay. Hold on, man. Kev, I'm giving you the floor right now, okay? Because Tremaine Edmonds is like the most polarizing Buffalo Bill, and I have my take about Tremaine Edmonds, but I want to hear from you as a non-Bills fan, a Dolphins fan in the division. Tell me why you think that Tremaine Edmonds is an underappreciated player on the Buffalo Bills.
The role that the Bills ask him to play is so incredibly difficult. The amount of ground he's asked to cover, the amount of receivers that he's asked to carry down the field, just what he brings with his size and speed that closes off passing lanes that you never see because the quarterback's not throwing the ball because he's there. Does he miss some tackles sometimes? Could he be a bit more instinctive? Yes. But when I see the Bills fans, and maybe it's just, you always read the select few on Twitter that are pretty negative. They are like on this guy, like they need to get rid of him and all this, and you can't re-sign him. Absolutely don't re-sign him. I'll take him in Miami in a heartbeat. I just think that you have to really study what he's asked to do compared to what other linebackers are asked to do, not on the Bills, but I just mean in the league in general. And his role is like exceptionally hard. Like they ask him to do a lot.
And I'm speaking of Tremaine. I mean, I'm coming along a little bit because I used to be a hardcore Tremaine Edmonds critic, man. I mean, because I guess part of it is because I expected so much out of him. And granted, I mean, a 19-year-old, right, a young man coming out of college. But he was thrust into the starting middle linebacker position in the National Football League. And I just expected a whole lot more out of him. And it seems like in certain areas of his game, he hasn't really shown a lot of improvement, especially when you look at the run game and how he still kind of like takes the cheese, right, when it comes to play action. Now, granted, you had mentioned something which I think is important to note, that he's asked to do a lot, right? I mean, he is asked to do a whole lot, and he's kind of in no man's land out there by himself when you look at his scheme and his responsibilities within the scheme. And so I would tend to agree with you on that. Evan, what do you think is one of the most underappreciated Buffalo Bills players right now?
So I have a few of them.
Yeah.
One player that I'm going to hit on is probably Devin Singletary.
Okay.
And I don't think he's the RB1.
Hold that real quick, Evan. I'm sorry. I gotta talk about this because Silas comes in with another super chat. Silas, my man, he's talking about Tremaine. And he says Tremaine is essential to the nickel defense by covering the middle of the field. Defensive tackles play in front of him or the defensive tackle play in front of him has been pretty suspect over his tenure. Salas, I like what you said. I tend to agree with you on that, and I'm gonna touch on that here a little bit later. But I'm glad that you commented and appreciate your super chat. So go ahead, Evan. I'm sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
Yeah, so like Kevin mentioned, Tremaine Edmonds, and I think that's a fairly good take. I don't think there's really any disagreement there. I mean, when you look at this Buffalo Bills roster, like there are so many players that get a lot of recognition, so it's really hard to pick an unappreciated player. A few players I can look at is maybe Dane Jackson, but I'm not going to pick him. The only reason I say his name is because people dog on Dane Jackson, but people don't understand the role he was thrusted into. He was playing, CB1 for a lot of last season, CB1, CB2. He was, covering some of the top receivers in the NFL. But I'm going to go with Devin Singletary. And the reason I'm going to go with Devin Singletary is because he was a pivotal point to the Buffalo Bills getting into the playoffs last year. People, don't realize there was a chance that the Buffalo Bills might have not won the division last year. They were at a point in time where the New England Patriots were above them, in the seeding, and they needed a spark. And that really came with Devin Singletary and Josh Allen opening up this run game. The trenches started opening up and Singletary started finding his game. He had 6 touchdowns in his last 4 games. He had 3 touchdowns in the postseason. He had 3 80-plus yard rushing performances. And you're like, well, that's, a lot of running backs do that. But the Buffalo Bills haven't had that in, years. It's been a 3 or 4 year hiatus of the Buffalo Bills having good rushing success out of their running backs. And you had a nice 5 or 6 game sample size out of Singletary with that at the end of the season going into the postseason. And I thought that was really, really pivotal to the Bills really making a postseason push and, contending for a Super Bowl. And if they did win the Super Bowl, getting past the Chiefs after that coin flip, Singletary would have been a big storyline, just rather than just being that storyline that never really got to hoist the Lombardi.
Right. And I see that Devin Singletary is a you guys know my take, right, about the running back position and how I wanted to see us improve that position in the offseason, especially in the draft. I was all about Breece Hall. And then now we got James Cook round 2. We'll see what happens there. But what I like about Devin Singletary is that he's just been very quiet. And he's produced, even though the Bills have not been a great run team, right? A run offense. I mean, what did he get last year with over 800 yards last year? And we saw how,
which is a career high.
Yeah, career high, right? And even in touchdowns,
over 1,000
touchdowns, right? Didn't he get 7 touchdowns, also 7 rushing touchdowns?
Yeah,
something like that.
And I think he had like 2 or 3 receiving
touchdowns.
He had over 1,000 scrimmage yards too.
Right. So he had a very surprising, very quiet year last year. And he's always been able to produce whenever he gets his opportunity, as few as they may be, especially as they have been under Brian Daboll. He has produced, and so I give Devin Singletary a lot of credit, and I'm looking forward to what he can do this year, especially with a revamped O-line, mainly in the trenches, and hopefully they can stay healthy and gel earlier in the season, as opposed to how long it took them to kind of get their things that they're bearing straight last year. And so I think he has an opportunity. And I even talked about this. I even said that, a few weeks ago, I had an On My Mama take where I talked about Devin Singletary. I mentioned that I think that Devin Singletary has a chance to actually finally reach 1,000 yards rushing this year. If they, with the addition of Aaron Kromer and if they do run more balanced offense, I think that he can hit that mark. Z-Bot, I'm gonna come up to you, man. When you look at the Buffalo Bills right now, who do you think has been underappreciated on this squad?
I think there was a few answers to this. I think Evan definitely nailed one of them. I think Devin Singletary is underappreciated, especially because, all the reasons you mentioned, this team is not a run-first team. They're not known for their rushing, but Devin Singletary was just under 5 yards a carry last year behind a line that was not particularly grooving throughout the year. And when you looked at what he brought to the table, no, it's not going to make the headlines, but it was steady enough that I think when you looked at the Bills overall, it was respectable, right? To a degree, based on what you have on that roster to run the ball. I think that he definitely does not get enough credit for what he brought to the table last year, because like you said, it was quiet. Like when you rattle off those numbers that you just did, I don't think anybody would guess that, right?
Yeah.
And it's because it didn't come in a flashy, explosive way. It just kind of happened over time. So I think Singletary is a good answer. I also like Kevin's answer too, because like Jeff mentioned in the comments over here, and I know it's brought up a lot with Tremaine Edmonds. It was definitely a factor early on. I really look forward to seeing Edmonds brings to the table this year with a much better defensive front, because that's always been a knock on Tremaine Edmonds, right? Well, if he had a good D line in front of him, then things would be different. Well, there's no excuse this year. So that's why I look forward to seeing how much better Tremaine Edmonds could be this year. I think there's two for me personally, kind of on different levels. One is Matt Milano, in my opinion. I just think Matt Milano, on the grand scheme of things, is one of the more underrated players in the league. I think he is an extraordinary linebacker and ultimately one of the best players on this defensive roster for the Bills. But if you were to survey the casual fan outside of Buffalo, I don't think many people would know of Matt Milano, or at least to the extent that they should, based on how good he really is. And there's a reason why the Bills decided to extend him when they had the opportunity. I mean, Matt Milano, of course, he oftentimes gets injured to the point of fault, right? He is on the field when he is healthy. Matt Milano, a massive game changer on defense for the Bills. And then I know I harp on this guy all the time, but I truly think you want to talk about underappreciated. I just think Brian Daboll underappreciated what he had at his disposal with Isaiah McKenzie. I think Isaiah McKenzie has the opportunity to open up the playbook 2 to 3 times a game in a way that no other player on this roster could do. I think Isaiah McKenzie is a Swiss Army knife. He brings to the offensive table for the Bills a variety of different things. He's not elite or extraordinary at one thing, but he can give you a little bit of everything. And we saw that on full display last year against the Patriots. I tweeted this out and I mentioned it on another show just the other night. But Isaiah McKenzie only had 26 targets the entire season last year. 12 of them came in the Patriots game last year in week 16. He caught 11 of them for $125 and a touchdown. So he had 26 targets all year. Half of them came in one game. And in that one game, he absolutely exploded. So that just shows you right there, especially when you go down the list of each game, 1 to 2 targets at the absolute max. And they were for next to no yardage whatsoever. There was just no real urgency to get Isaiah McKenzie involved. But when they re-signed him this year under Ken Dorsey, I think, to me, especially with the departure of Cole Beasley, it told me that we should expect to see more out of Isaiah McKenzie. And I think that he has proven that when he is given an opportunity, he definitely delivers. I thought last year, after the fumbled kick against the Colts, he was unfairly benched. They were giving him the runaround all year. I hated that too. I hated that. I mean, listen, that game was over whether he fumbled that ball or not. They got their ass kicked, but he definitely got put in the doghouse for that. I just love Isaiah McKenzie, man. I truly do. And I think he has one of the more underrated skill sets on this entire team.
Hands down. I love me some Little Dirty. After the Patriots game, I don't know. I mean, what more you could ask of him? I mean, right? Or how much more you want to see out of Little Dirty? I mean, when Beasley wasn't doing the thing and he was there, he showed that he could produce, and he actually took the game over. Now, granted, some people will say, well, he was playing against the third or fourth cornerback. Doesn't matter. Regardless, I mean, he produced. I think that Brian Daboll, as somebody have already said here in the chat, misused him. He did not use him enough or as effectively as he should have. And then he even went away from the end rounds. Like, I mean, we used to see that a lot, but last year it seems like he just went completely away from that. But I think that Little Dirty, when given the opportunity and you allow him to expand himself a little bit within the offense, I think he's going to shock a lot of Bills fans, a lot of people around here, because not only does he have the camaraderie, or I guess not the camaraderie, but what's the word I'm looking for? The rapport with Josh Allen, right? By being the longer tenured wide receiver on the squad. But he has something that cannot be taught, man, and that is speed. When you get if you give Little Dirty some opportunities where he can get the ball in space, I think that we can see an increase in the yak that we've been looking for, right? We've been talking about that. Even Josh Allen's been talking about improving his game this offseason in that regard. If you give Little Dirty the opportunity, with the ball, to make moves in space. Now, not just the end arounds or whatever, but in legitimate routes, crossing routes. I think that we can see him take off this year like we haven't seen him. I love the little dirty pig. Love it. Kevin, I'm going to go to you, man. And I got a feeling that if you're being petty, like I think that you're used to being, and I'm thinking that you're leaning towards somebody who plays defense.
Oh, my man.
Yeah,
Jordan,
go ahead. I already know. I already feel you, man. Go ahead.
We've got to get this man a new contract, lots of guaranteed money. Okay.
Yeah.
He's an all-pro player.
Oh, who are you talking about?
We're talking about Jordan Poyer.
There you
right? Okay. So let's start with this. The guy played almost his entire career and he was underpaid, didn't complain. Every year you guys started a campaign about how he's underrated and he needs to go to the Pro Bowl and blah, blah, blah. And then he finally gets named and then he's like, okay, now I want to be paid for it. And you guys are like, whoa, hold your horses. This is his last shot at a real contract because of his age. He's got to get fair market value for what he's done. Aside from his ability on the field, the guy is a leader of your team, and he has been a leader on the team for years now. So overpay, lots of guaranteed money, maybe push it in a couple of years. Miami's has no chance of competing this year, so maybe 2 years down the road, let's get that cap situation in jeopardy. But for real, this is your Super Bowl run, right? This is your year. So do you want to go into it without, one of your all pros? Just make some magic happen. Throw him an extra $3 million a year over 2 years, and then you got everything settled, and you're good to go. Imagine going a year. What was it, Hamlin? Would he be coming in if he was gone with his 6'1" 40 speed? Or Jermaine or Johnson, who I will never slight because he played for the U and I love him, but really isn't a 16-game starter type guy. You got to keep this guy. It's going to be a big thing. Send us Javon. No, you ain't getting Javon Holland. I'll tell you that. Yeah.
Why are you trying to pump up Jordan Poyer like that? I feel you, though, man.
No, I really do. So half of it was like joking because I want you guys to ruin your cap space, but the other half, everything I said was true, though. The guy did play. The guy outperformed.
But you said he was under. Okay. Now, so now you say he outperformed his contract. Okay, because earlier you said that he was underpaid, and I disagree with that. He wasn't underpaid because when he signed his contract, he was paid a market value when he first came on with the Bills. But after
for sure,
for the course of years, he's definitely outplayed that contract. I agree with you on that. Now, okay, man, look, I love Poyer. I think Poyer to me is the leader of the defense, not just the secondary. But I would say that Poyer is the leader of the defense. I know we want to just kind of give that responsibility to Tremaine because he's a middle linebacker. But when you look at the emotional aspect of it and what Jordan Poyer brings to the team, man, that guy is fire. He gets everybody lined up right, but he brings it every single game. And when you take Jordan Poyer, if you were to take Jordan Poyer out of the equation, a lot of people say, well, who'd you rather have, Poyer or Hyde? Man, I mean, if gun to my head, I'm taking Poyer. I love Micah Hyde, but I've got to take Jordan Poyer just because of some things that are beyond what he brings on the field. But now when you talk about me, and now we're ending up, I mean, we're closing out this show. We're 2 hours and some change into the show. Appreciate you guys for joining us for this long. I really do appreciate that. We've got my man. I want you guys to show some love to my man Evan down here below, and then the handsome gentleman looking dapper with the smug face, Kevin Guerard. Show some love to these guys, and of course, always Z-Bot, my man. But when I think about it, and I've kind of given some thought to this, and maybe I'm gonna go with a guy who we haven't seen play a down for the Buffalo Bills. But you guys have mentioned it. Z-Bot, you kind of touched on it earlier. Some people in the chat have talked about Tremaine Edmonds. I think that a guy who is underappreciated or maybe overlooked, I would say, could be Daquan Jones. And the reason I say Daquan Jones is because he, to me, is the key cog for the defensive line. We look at the defensive line and even the front seven, but we a lot of times we were talking about Tremaine Edmonds and a lot of his deficiencies and why he hasn't been this good and that good. And a lot of it, granted, has to do with what he's been tasked to do, but also a lot of the a lot of the burden goes on the defensive line, specifically at the one tech position. We have seen time and time again guys like Star Lotulelei, right? He's kind of he wasn't performing like we expected him to, especially in the tail end of his career. And we look at Tremaine Edmonds and we're like, yo, how can we expect Tremaine to do what he's supposed to do when you got a guy like Star Lotulelei who's supposed to be one tech who's not successfully two gapping as he should two gap? And then we've seen a guy like Ed Oliver being played out of position a lot of times across the defensive line, which actually affects the back end, specifically Tremaine Edmonds, and then it goes back to Matt Milano as well. And so when you look at what Brandon Beane did this offseason when he revamped the defensive line, one of the first guys he added was Daquan Jones. Daquan Jones, coming from Tennessee and also coming from, I think he played last year, 1 year with the Carolina Panthers, is your prototypical one tech, right? I think, if I'm not mistaken, there was he was on a press conference and he spoke about somebody asked him the question about where he weighs right now, and he's sitting at over 325. He's about 325, 330 right now. I mean, he's bigger than Star, right? Because I think Star was playing at around 310, and Daquan Jones is a bigger guy. But I think that if Daquan Jones can perform as well as he did in Tennessee, man, I think that his presence across the defensive line will bode well for everybody else across the defensive line, but specifically for Tremaine Edmonds, who I think that this is a year for Tremaine. We can't make any more excuses for him. If he has a legit one tech in front of him, there's no more excuses for Tremaine. So I think that a very overlooked guy could be Daquan Jones this year, and he could be the key cog to the defensive line. I know we got Von Miller. He's a pass rusher, but, man, it all starts right up there in the trenches. And if we can't stop the run successfully, then it doesn't matter having Von Miller really doesn't matter. So that's who I would think. Does anybody? Well, I'm trying to look through the chat, and I think I've got a super chat here from Jeff King. He comes in and he goes in with another amazing super chat. Jeff, appreciate you guys so much, man. He says, gentlemen, as always, thanks for the content, entertainment, and laughs. God bless you and yours. Appreciate the break from reality. Be well. Jeff King, you are the man, the legend, and the myth. God bless Jeff King. Man.
Scott Sterling.
There you go.
Scotty Sterling. Legend.
Man, legend, absolute legend. Guys, I'm excited, man. I'm excited about oh, wait a minute. I heard something pop up. I don't know about this, but it seems like somebody popped in. Maybe somebody popped in. Here we go. Let me see who this could be.
End of the road for that one.
Oh, man.
It just says producer.
Yeah.
Is it your buddy Jordan Poyer, Kev?
Kevin?
Well, it should be, man. We're close.
I don't know. I mean, we're about to close out the show. And, man, we've got a surprise producer popping up, but no face. So I'm not too sure who this is. But I'm going to give him a little bit of time to pop up on in.
They better hurry up because I got a 3 a.m. flight that I got to get out.
Oh, snap. Okay.
My producer friend right here, he better get after it.
He better hurry
up.
Now
he's gone. Now he's just gone.
Okay.
Did we get hacked?
All right. I guess it didn't connect, man. I mean, he pops in, no face. It's a ghost. And maybe
it could have been the Arby's PR team. They're mad I'm about to cheat on them with Taco Bell and the massive
Are you headed there?
Yeah,
are you headed there right now for the show? Oh.
That's where he's flying. That's why he has a 3 a.m. flight. He just booked it. He's going to California.
Yeah, where do you think I'm going? I'm out to where was it again? Where was it again?
California.
Yeah, where though?
Irvine, California.
Irvine, yeah. We're off to Irvine in the morning.
Z-Bot, you do that, brother. Hey, I want to see all the content, man. I want to see.
Well, and then I'll get a layover in Texas, and I've got to get the Rev Burger, and then we're all set.
Come on, man.
Rev, I was just in Texas.
Where you?
Oh, that's right. You went down there.
I was in Austin.
Oh, in Austin. Okay, man. I'm on, El Paso, far southwest Texas. It seems like
the new home of Archie Manning.
Man, no cap, for real.
Yeah.
We're so far out of there, man. Even like, I mean, you say, oh, I'm in Texas. Texas is so freaking big, man. Like
I know
Austin
it's like the biggest state.
Austin is 7+ hours, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
so,
no kidding.
Oh yeah, it's a drive. It's a drive. Texas,
Somebody's
I
got a
tell
knock on
people,
their
man,
door. I think that's Arby's.
there you go. Uh-oh.
Yeah,
Well, with
uh-oh.
that note,
Delivery man's here.
with that note, guys, hey, we are done with the show. That concludes another edition of Rated Rev and the Smoke Break, aka for today, Bot and Rev Show. I'd like to congratulate my guests. Appreciate you guys for hopping on with me, my man Evan. Hey, if you haven't followed Evan, I'm gonna give you this time right now. Tell everybody who's watching where they can follow you, and tell them what you've got going on as well with your radio show.
All right. So obviously my Twitter handle is here below. That's Evan H716. That's me on Twitter. You can follow me on Instagram at Evan Harrington _63. And then on TikTok, if any of you guys have TikTok, I got a little bit of a following over there. We do some Bills content. That's at NFL Analyst. I got that name for myself early and often. But yeah, Rev mentioned something about my radio show. I'm over at Buffalo State College. I am the host and producer of a radio show on 91.3 FM WBNY. It's called the Buffalo Blitz. Outside listeners that are not in Buffalo can listen to it on the Radio FX app. And just type in the call sign WBNY. We go normally Monday and Wednesdays from 2 to 4, but it's normally Mondays in the summer. We're trying to do Monday, Wednesday, Friday in like the fall semester as well. So, you can catch more Bills content over there, some college athletics, NBA talk, and NHL as well, covering the Sabres. So if you want to hear stuff of that, check me out over there.
One love, my man, Evan. And then again, we've got the resident Bills fan. I mean, he may as well be a Bills fan. I mean, I say resident Dolphins fan, but he's a Bills fan at the heart. We already know that. My man, Kevin Guerard. Kev, tell everybody, man, where they can find you, where they can follow you, and your smugness and your pettiness on Twitter.
I don't know. I got nothing. Like
You don't got anything to plug? You don't want to plug your OnlyFans, Kev?
Come on, man.
Well, my
he's got a good one.
It's taking off right now. We're going in a new direction. I'm focusing solely on feet. But the foot fungus I've got right now is putting a little bit of a damper on profits.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to have to change it up. I just got my arse waxed, and we're going to go in that direction. But, I like to be known for more than my looks. My Twitter handle's down there. I get yelled at quite frequently by Bills fans. It's pretty much what it is. I wake up to someone yelling at me every day. And that's pretty much it. I don't know what happens. I just end up on these shows. I'm just sitting at work, and someone says, "Let's go." Yeah.
So Kevin, what's the link to your OnlyFans here for your waxed?
Your waxed arse.
Oh, at Simply the Best 13.
Nice.
Simply the
Are you doing any trap specials, man?
Well, it's because I got 3 theme songs, right? So when I walk into the room, it's bootylicious. I'm not sure if you're ready for this jelly. As I'm in the room, it's simply the best because you haven't seen my feet yet, but trust me, it's worth $13.99 a month.
Wow, that's a
discounts if you go to 3. Yeah, discounts.
That's more than Netflix.
And then as I leave the room, it's There Goes My Hero by the Foo Fighters.
That's a good one. That's a good one.
I mean, we mentioned early in the show how Zach is a man of many talents, but it seems
Kevin's a man of
many
secret
overtake
talents.
Zach.
Yeah. Secret talents. That's right.
Although I haven't dipped my feet, no pun intended, into the OnlyFans game yet. Kevin's got me interested now. Maybe my OnlyFans is just anybody here who wants to see me eat those gross foods I always talk about. Maybe that's what I could do. And
hey, I definitely
I've seen people make money doing less. These what do they call the mukbangers? They're millionaires. You never heard of these mukbang people?
Never heard of it. What is that?
I don't know what kind of emails you get, my man, but I gotta see some.
It sounds way worse than it is. A mukbang is just somebody eating food into the microphone so you can hear them chewing.
Oh, I got you. Yeah, I've seen that.
Like ASMR.
Yeah, it's like ASMR, but it's people eating. Yeah, like and they make it crunchy and stuff, so it's super exaggerated. I'm talking. I know some YouTubers. We're talking millions here, just eating food.
You need to do that.
And I need to get my slice of the pie, boys. I need to get my slice of the 16-inch Cheez-It.
Yeah.
So, Kevin, we might need a collab outside of here. We might need to get into the other business.
Yeah, I think for the game, remember, I'm going to the Bills. Packers. I think for the game, I'm going to have to buy myself a Jordan Poyer jersey. and I'm gonna reach out and see if he would agree to sign it for me after the game. We got to test these waters.
Yeah, I don't know.
And why don't you
I'll be
just
there
ask what's his face there from the Buffalo News? I'm sure he can get it signed for you.
Oh.
What why am I blanking here?
What? Jerry Sullivan?
The big Jerry Sullivan. Yeah. I was gonna say, just ask Jerry. Ask Jerry. He'll be already in the room with him. He doesn't care. He'll ask.
Yeah.
I'd actually love that. If you got Jerry, if his post-game question was just, hey, do you mind signing this for my Dolphins buddy, Kev? He's a big fan of you.
Oh, Jordan knows I'm a Dolphins fan.
I know, but like I'm saying, if Jerry Sullivan was like in the press room and he gets one question after the game and he's just like, hey, Jordan, Jerry here, Buffalo News. Would you mind signing this jersey for Kevin over at the Fanatics? He's a big Dolphins fan. Just like that.
Yeah. I love Kevin. Yeah.
Kevin, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Kevin's the one who got me $12 million a year for 6 years. To round it out in Buffalo. Yeah.
All 100% guaranteed.
Oh, man.
Oh,
Wouldn't
my
that be
gosh.
nice? Wouldn't that be nice? Guys, well, one thing is guaranteed is we out of this mug. We are gone. We are out of here, baby. 2.5 hours, and we're done. We are out of here. Stay tuned to the Buffalo
By the way,
Fanatics.
hold on.
Go ahead.
Kevin,
okay, come on.
Sorry, thought came through my mind. There's no is there a Canadian Independence Day this weekend? Or are you guys just kind of what's the deal there?
It's tomorrow.
Oh, it is.
I was supposed to go up.
Okay.
Yeah,
I was supposed to go up for my Canadian relatives.
Yeah.
Any big plans?
We're gonna go downtown. So I'm in Ottawa, so we're the capital. So it's pretty much that's the biggest of the celebrations because
that's fun.
Shit.
That actually sounds like a blast.
So it's actually pretty good. Everyone's gonna be drunk, and then they're very lenient with the street drinking on Canada Day, and then you all head down to like Parliament Hill, which is Parliament's like our White House, if you will. And they usually have free concerts, and then they have like fireworks and stuff like that. So every bar will be rammed. Yeah.
You gonna be belly up, baby? You gonna be belly up?
Sounds good to me, man.
It's the only position I know.
There you go. There you go.
Hey, Kev, I got Canadian relatives up north too, so I might have to stop by.
Whereabouts?
All over the place. St. Catharines, Toronto, Hamilton. And then we got far west like Alberta, and then like Vancouver area.
Well, if you go to St. Catharines again, let me. Oh, how old are you?
19.
Oh, you're good. Okay, I got just a spot for you then. I got just.
It's where Kev got his start in the industry.
Well, 19 to drink in Canada, boys.
Oh,
I know. That's where I had my first beer. We're at a Hooters right across the Niagara line. Yeah, the worst chicken wings I've ever had in my life.
That's something you'll never forget.
Believe me, you want to know what I'll never forget is the way I've told this story before. I ordered here, and they come out and they're the size of my pinky. I'm not even exaggerating. I think I tweeted the picture, and it was so. And I'm not the guy to bitch at the waitress or anybody about food. I hate when people do that, but this was like absurd. So I said something to her, and she just goes, "Oh, well, that's because we don't genetically modify our chicken wings here in Canada." And I'm like, listen, I don't care what you have to do to these things. These are brutal. Pump them with the steroids, man. That's why they're good in Buffalo, I guess.
Got it, the thigh dance on the thigh legs.
Yeah, exactly. Get them thighed out, man.
Get them out. Yeah, there you go. Oh, man.
But she was like very proud of the lack of genetic modifications in the Hooters chicken wings. And I'm like, look, they suck. I don't know what to tell you.
So
I don't know
So she didn't appreciate it, man. Hey, I like my wings nice and fat, man. I can't handle those skinny wings. It just doesn't. My wings gotta have plenty of meat. Plenty of meat. I've seen a picture. I don't know if you guys saw, man. I've seen some pictures floating around on social media about wings and people like half eating wings and talking about like oh I smashed these wings. If the bone is not completely clean.
Dude, if you're not eating the cartilage, man, like I'm talking, you need to be picking stuff out of your teeth for like a week after a dozen, or you are not eating them right, bro. I saw exactly what you're talking about too, Rev. It's disgusting how people think that that's an adequate way to eat a wing. I mean, it makes me mad.
Rev, how are the wings in El Paso where you're at?
Well, my wings are bomb.
Oh, I was just gonna say, Rev does them up right.
Yeah. My wings.
Don't get them going. We'll be here another 2 hours.
We're gonna be here another hour.
That's because I'll be asking them to show me pictures.
No, I'm not gonna do that, man. But
that's your OnlyFans.
Your
wings.
At Rev's EPTX, man. If you want to follow on Twitter, I mean not Twitter, but Instagram and Facebook, you can check them out. Yeah, my rings are pretty good. Matter of fact, this weekend, I'm cooking up a whole bunch of wings and burgers, man. I've got orders coming out, man. And so yeah, I'm gonna be busy cooking this 4th of July.
Oh my God, I gotta go there.
weekend.
I gotta go to Cali. Man, I gotta get out.
Yeah, you guys gotta make a trip, man. You guys gotta make a trip and come on down here, man. The wings on me.
Hey, by the way, before I know this is I got a million questions here. This is one just came top of my head. Cav, are you doing a meet and greet at that Bills Packers game? Is there anywhere anybody can come and come and say hey and get an autograph?
Yeah, there's a lad there that Don, you know Don from the draft?
I do.
Don
Yeah.
Troutman, yeah. So he's kind of like I think he deals with like the Facebook stuff, right? For the Fanatics. So he's having a big tailgate. His tailgates, holy crap. I went to one, Rico, Pierre, Bobby, we all went to one a few years ago. Home opener there where you played against the Bengals game.
Yeah.
You got that weird bad fumble call for some reason. They gave you the ball even though they recovered the Josh Allen fumble. But whatever, I digress. Also, John Ross beat Trey White for an 80-yard touchdown, but the ball was
come on.
So anyways,
that was Vontae Davis.
No, it was Trey White. It was down the sideline. He didn't catch the ball. It was we got lucky, but White celebrated being 5 yards behind. And then Rico's like he was guiding him out of bounds. But anyways, I'm just joking. So the main thing is the tailgate, right? So Don has his tailgate, and there's like the whole breakfast, and then this truck comes up, like a pickup truck, and the pickup truck has a smoker like bolted to the truck.
Wow.
So like there was a whole thing where they were there all day and they were smoking wings and brisket and ribs, and they had
where the hell was this, man? I was there.
I'm telling you, man, you gotta ask Rico about it, man. Don and his group, and they had like, you know, when they get all the buffet tables going like that, even had desserts and stuff like that. It was nuts, man. Like it was anyways, Don's having a tailgate this one, and I'm going to that because last time I ate so much food and Pierre and I were playing cornhole half drunk. It was a good time. So yeah, I'll be there. So if all the Bills fans do, you know, and I was waiting for it, because when I first started just jumping on with Rico, I was just Rico's buddies and he'd bring me on. And when I first started, no one really knew who I was. So like anytime I said anything, they're like, "This guy doesn't know shit," you know, like they were like freaking out on me.
Especially when they find out you're a Dolphins fan.
Well, because Rico always does that. He's like, "Just so you know, he's a Dolphins fan." Like he springs it on them, and then they're like, "This guy's a bum," you know.
Oh man. Yeah.
So I was waiting at this tailgate for like, because they're all there to see. Rico had dudes coming from Tennessee and stuff just to meet him. Right?
Yeah, amazing.
So, they were coming there, and then of course Pierre and all that straight. So then a couple of them recognized me. I'm like, "Uh-oh, you know, are we getting ready? Like, what's up?" You know, and they were like, "Oh, hey, how's it going?" They were super nice.
That's
cool.
great. That's awesome.
Yeah, it was really cool. It was everyone was pretty nice. I did not wear a Dolphins jersey. I have done that twice in a Dolphins game. Didn't go well. So the last time I went, I just wore one of those Buffalo Fanatic shirts.
Oh, there you go.
Oh, right.
And I can't wear a Dolphins.
That's fair. That's fair.
Because they're not even playing. It's just weird. No offense to
them.
No,
I hate that.
When you wear a jersey that's not the two teams playing.
No, it's a sin, truly.
So I might have to get my Jordan Poyer jersey. It was between him and Reggie Gilliam. You know, I think I'm going to go Poyer though, just because him and I are tight. And that's my guy, you know. So, but yeah, no, I'll be there. So we'll pump it up before we go, because I'm going to try and get Pierre to come out too.
Love it. And we'll get you doing a thigh dance with Thigh Doc too.
Oh my
God,
the
whole experience.
I did legs
when I first met that guy. When I first met Alex. Oh my gosh, that was before he started like really getting on me, like doing the thigh dance. But like I met him actually. It was at the Fanatics tailgate. I think it was at yours tailgate. Zach.
Oh, it was. Oh, I was. Oof.
Yeah. And then he pulls up, rips off his pants. He's got the short Zumbas.
Yeah.
He's just going at it.
I mean, look at he lives the role. I mean, there's no doubt. There's no acting there. He is the role. He is a method actor. That guy.
Yeah. He is the thigh dance king.
He is incredible.
Yeah, I can't
wait. Just
wait
because of him doing that, it rubbed off on me, and I'm doing it like on my cruise in international waters. I'm doing it at like college parties. I'm doing it just everywhere.
He needs to get it on Fortnite or whatever. That's where all the cool dances go, right?
Yeah,
for the kids.
I'll submit that.
Get Thigh Doc some coin, man. Take Buffalo Fanatics to the next
Man,
level.
look,
off
I think
the
he's going
dance.
to be at the game. I think he said, Evan, didn't he say that in the chat? I think he's going.
He's
to
at
be
most of them. He probably will be.
Yeah, so I think he was coming. So that there's a few of you here that.
They want me to thigh dance.
Evan, I mean, come on, man. You
I got to do it.
Yeah,
you got to do it.
All right.
We're about to close out the show.
Yeah, let's just end it on that. Let's see it, Ev. Come on, baby.
I've got one
Feel
more
better-
too, but
feel
I
better.
think
Make
I
sure
gotta
there's
have-
nothing around. I don't want to watch you tear your ACL.
yeah.
Oh, I've done that a couple times.
See, now he's doing
Gotta
exactly
keep
what the
jazz
Thigh
hands.
Doc tells you. You
Yeah.
start like that. You got to get into
Uh-huh.
it. You got to work your way into it. Yeah.
And then
There you go.
But the best part is when you have someone that's pumping your chest. and you
Yes.
still-
Yes.
Uh-huh.
You can tell Evan's very attentive because this
Yeah.
is exactly what the Thigh Doc says. He gives you these.
I just did leg day today. Too, so we're in there.
Oh man, Evan closing us out with the thigh
I
dance,
gotta
but
tell
yo,
you, that was good. The best I've ever seen was when Rev did it outside of his car. I mean, that it looked like you were
Oh,
doing
man,
that
come
to
on, man.
save your family's life, bro.
Come on, man,
You were
don't do
putting your back into that thing,
I
man.
would
That
put-
was
hey,
the
man,
best
baby,
one
baby.
I've ever
the
seen.
tag is going in it, man, all the time. But hey,
Hey.
guys, that's gonna get included. But since we're talking about thigh dancing, come on now, we got Evan closing us out with the thigh dance, and I've got to
it.
give a shout out to my man, the thigh doctor, thigh master himself. Come on, baby, come on. As we're closing out the show,
The
hey,
Thigh guy.
as always,
Rev-
guys, thanks to everybody for joining us. Thanks
Rev
to the
and
chat for
Ev.
sticking with us for over 2.5 hours. Buffalo Bills stand up. Dolphins, I don't know about all that, but hey, we will see you next
Flop
time,
down.
next go round, next week, and you know it from here on out, baby. God bless and go Bills. Check this
Go
out.
Bills.
as we
Happy
close out the
4th,
show.
everyone.
Happy 4th.
I just need more of your love. I just need more of your love. I just need more of your love. I just need a little bit more of your
Yo, it
my
never
God.
gets
Shout out.
old,
It never
man.
gets old, man. Never gets old. I gotta watch
He
that again.
edits them so great too. They're so
Oh,
bad that it's, you know what I mean? It's so bad,
Yeah.
it's good.
The one that he posted a while back ago, he literally sent it to me like 3-4 days before in our Instagram DMs. He goes, because he's really on it. Like he literally goes, like, Evan, you
Oh,
gotta
yeah,
like
he-
do
yeah,
this.
hit
He
you up.
sent me. We were talking for 40 minutes, 40 straight
About how to
minutes
thigh
about
dance.
how to do the thigh dance, and I have all the receipts too. If one day we ever go down that alley,
Oh, we
But-
will.
oh,
we should get it
yeah.
on a shirt.
All of us are gonna do it. We're all gonna do it. We're all gonna do it, guys.
The one, the video where he slides in too. You know that one where he slides
Yeah, I
and then
remember
he
that one.
starts doing it in the. Dude,
I should do it on skates. I should do it on skates because I go skating all the time. I should do it on hockey skates.
Man, don't fall and bust
Yeah,
yourself.
do it to where you really have to like, because then he'll go and do something insane to top it.
Oh,
he
so
just
if
starts-
I top him, he'll try to.
Exactly.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'll do it
yeah,
on hockey
he's
skates. I'll do it on hockey
Exactly.
skates.
When
Yeah,
you
he's-
do
he's
it though,
definitely
we
gonna one up
all
you.
have to make sure that we just go nuts. Like Evan, that's the greatest thigh dance.
Oh
we've
yeah,
ever
like
seen.
dude. Oh
And
my
the
god.
thigh doc is just gonna go nuts.
He's gonna get
Now
pissed.
you've taken his.
We got to get it to like
yeah.
10,000 views on Twitter.
Yeah,
Next
yeah.
thing you know, he's
5,000
doing
likes.
like a little.
Yeah,
He's
he'd be
doing like a
him in the
Lawinda
nude,
guy.
yeah.
He's out on the tightrope doing it across
Yeah.
Niagara Falls, trying to trying to
Yeah,
one
yeah.
up Evan.
Yeah, you could be the thigh doctor, but he's the thigh master. You know what I mean?
Oh man, yo, he is the
Go
thigh
nuts.
master, man.
Yeah.
Yo,
I'll do thigh
guys,
guy.
he is
One becomes a
thigh
Jedi
guy.
or whatever. Right?
Follow him on Twitter. Doctor, he's a good follow, man. And his articles, man. He always has a way of throwing in some.
You think he knows we're giving him this much free pub?
Hey, he doesn't know, but he's gonna know now.
The best part is that people don't. How many percentage of people do you think know that he's? I would because he's actually a doctor, right? Yeah.
I know
He's
it's
not
incredible. And
fucking
when you
game.
bring him on to talk
Yeah.
about real things, he's very, very good. So it's wild that when people finally like put it together, it's nuts.
We may have
that's how
to
he got
have
his
Thigh
start,
Doctor on the
right?
show.
Yeah, his start was like analyzing injuries and stuff like that, and then
Yeah.
breaking down possible like timelines for recoveries and stuff like
Still
that.
does that.
Yeah.
still
Then
does
he
that.
hit that dance, and the rest was history.
The rest is history, man. And we're gonna close out with that once more again, baby. You guys, thanks for watching so much. Enjoy your 4th of July weekend. For those who are in America, have fun with your friends, your family, your loved ones.
That was
Till
a
next
shot
time,
at Kevin.
guys.
That felt
Peace, man.
deliberate.
Yo, God bless. It was a shot, but yeah, I love Kev. It's all good. Thigh
Happy
dance it out,
Canada Day,
baby.
Kev. Happy Canada
buddy.
Day.
Happy day, baby. Let's do it. God bless. Go Bills.